most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin aka MMAnomaly, Emiliano aka Jive Turkey Nano, and Alex Pip aka Pip's Piano Tips.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, are the co-hosts with the most. We're talking about a Pip's Piano Tips, and that's right, folks. Your eyes do not deceive you. We got him back. The bird flew the coop last week. He had a little bit of a work trip, but by God, the turkey is back in action. And I'll start with you, brother. How the hell are you on this beautiful Monday afternoon?
My man, great to be back with y'all. Great to be back with the people. We got the real Drew Dober out here, Jimbo's old lady, Dixon Cider, my man, with the Taporia working at McDonald's image. I must say, you always come strong with the imagery, my brother. Look at that. Great to have all of you. Great to be back in the saddle. It's just like riding a bike, baby. Just like another evening stroll. Can't wait to break this down. Pip, how you doing, brother? Always great to see you. How we living on your side of the planet Earth over there?
Oh, I'm doing good. Back to a busy day. I'm happy to have you back. And yeah, I mean, I think this is 4 shows now back to back. I mean, I feel like we're on butter. I mean, we're on a roll, baby. I mean, and we got a banger card to talk about. So I'm excited to break it down with you boys, but I'm just excited. Uncle Olin, how you doing, brother? I think you might got a double.
Speaking of butter roll, we got Olin over here.
Oh my God. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. But the mute did not want to participate. Look, man, it's been a fantastic day. It's I'm prepping for my trip for work as well. The same way that the man to my right was out of town last week. I'm going to be there this week. Different city. We're going to Chicago. I will be at the airport at like 5 something a.m. tomorrow. Good times. With that being said, zero complaints, bro. You and me just did a live the other day. It was fan-fucking-tastic. I feel like, like you said, we're 4 days in, bro. We're 4 days in. We're back to back to back. And we're on the attack. I love seeing it. Jimbo's old lady loves seeing Nano back. S-Dogs MMA is in the fucking chat. Give it up for the boy. Just ended his show and sparking up to the boys. I was just about to reference him right now. It's like Speak of the Devil and he shall appear. We actually recorded with him yesterday and put out a banger of a show on what's next for all of the biggest winners and losers of UFC Freedom 250. So make sure you check that out, folks. Not now and not right now, as John Anik would say, but after this show. Go check that out on his channel, on our channel. Doesn't matter. Maybe do it on both. Do it for America. All right, folks? Come on, give it up. Now, with that being said, we are here not to talk about UFC Freedom 250, which I do feel like we've talked about ad nauseum at this point. We could still talk about it, though. We could talk about it. It's a great card. With that being said, I was talking to my barber about it just a couple hours ago. We are here to talk about UFC Vegas 119. And of course, it was headlined by none other than Manel Kape, feel of that titty, and Kyoji Horiguchi. And man, I'm going to pull this comment up again here. Dixon Cider was in here not 5, not 10, not 15, more than 20 minutes early before the stream started, just to drop this golden line. Olin, I done told you not to fall into the Gucci. What can I say other than the gooch screwed the pooch? And USADA has very obviously left the chat. I have a fun fact for you boys. Pre-USADA, Manel Kape, ton of canceled fights due to injury or weight miss or one thing or another. And nothing but decisions in the UFC. Interesting. USADA leaves the chat. He's making weight. He's not pulling out of fights. and every single fight has been a finish within 2 rounds.
It's a good point.
I'm not trying to say that he's like the boss, but he might be the sauce boss, if you know what I'm saying, boys. He's on all the sauce. Word on the street is they actually did try to be fair and test him before the fight, but his piss actually melted the plastic cup, so they couldn't get it to the lab. It was fucking radioactive. Nano, since you took a week off, I'll pass it to you, brother. What were your thoughts on this fight? I'll stop the jokes.
I appreciate it. I mean, I'm here for it. I think we all are, for the jokes and all the banter. We are no filter, as the title suggests. But listen, man, this was a great fight night. This had a lot of stake behind it. A lot was up in the air for the winner of this. We were thinking potential title contention. We were thinking a revenge match for our boy Horiguchi. But as I was not able to break down, I would have led with the idea that Manel Kape is always one punch away from switching up the game, and that's really what happened. I mean, let's call it what it is. It felt like Horiguchi was Gucci, Fendi, Prada all over Manel Kape. The Gyno Rhino Manel Kape. Lazy bed, shout out from the top rope, my boy. Jeez.
The Gyno Rhino. That's fucking awesome.
Jeez Louise.
BRB, gonna have Grok whip up a Photoshop of that real quick. Sorry to jump in there, Nano. Had to pay homage
please
to
do,
that
brother. Water's warm. Water's warm.
quote.
Feel free, my brother. Always a pleasure, man. Love the back and forth banter. But I'll tell you what, man. I mean, Manel, that's the unique skill set he has. Is the nuclear power, is the nuclear option. I thought Horiguchi was winning the fight until, frankly, he wasn't. He got clipped, got wobbled, and Manel, has those killer instincts and was able to pounce. And it felt like it was a good stoppage. I think you want to see those fighters give every opportunity, and especially after all the controversy with Alex Bajeda and the punches to the back of the head, things like that. I mean, they're always protecting the fighters. I thought it was a fair stoppage. He was obviously rocked, and it was that. And then I think he had one more follow up that dropped him again, which that's all we need to see, folks. Great win for Manel. Another feather in the cap. You mentioned wanting to take a little break here, so I'm curious if he's maybe conceding to the idea that Van might end up facing the previous champ and one of the greatest in the division, our boy, Alexandre Pantoja. So I'm assuming that's probably what's next. But, man, hell of a performance, hell of a comeback. And Horiguchi doesn't lose any stake in my book here. Still a dog, still somebody that deserves to be at the top of the top. I'm glad he had his opportunity and showed well. Sometimes you get clipped, though. That's the name of the game, boys. Oh, here we go. Shout out to our producer, MMAnomaly, with the quickness. Shout out.
My favorite part of this picture is the actual breasts of Manel Kape are not edited at all.
No, that's the real deal right there.
Solid pecs. I mean, solid pecs.
That left one looks like it might give milk talk.
I wish I had that, Justices. I mean, geez.
That's what happens, though. Respectfully, that's what happens when you are taking stuff and you try to wean off your cycle. That's what happens. The body starts producing estrogen, Look at that man beast. Oh, Lazy, I'm going to send you that picture on Twitter, so that way if you want to post it, you can, because I do not own the rights to that. That was a Lazy Bet original. Oh, man. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Nano. He's always one punch away, right? Like and before I pass it to you, Pip, can I point out, I'm not sure if either of you guys noticed this. I had to notice it on my second watch of the fight. He didn't fight from orthodox at all the entire fight up until he threw the one knockout shot. And that is a very interesting take, right? Like he gave one look the entire fight. The moment he changed it, he caught him with something he didn't see coming. Pip, did you notice that? A, and B, overall, what were your thoughts on the fight? What were your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, that's a great point that you noticed that. And yeah, watching the fight live, I thought it was more one-sided. It was kind of Horiguchi was doing his thing up until the knockout. Going back and rewatching, yes, I did kind of notice that. I mean, he had moments where he kind of switched stances, moving around the cage and whatnot. But right, he never fought out of that stance until he was looking for that left or avoiding that left hook from Horiguchi. And I think that's what really the main key was. But Nano, as you said, I mean, what a knockout from Kape. I mean, going to what felt like a very competitive fight into round 3, and Kape finds that right straight and just puts Horiguchi down. I mean, Kape did it. I mean, he looked extremely fast. He was catching the body kicks while they did land. He was able to put Horiguchi in just kind of bad positions and land his own offense off of them. And he did a good job stuffing a majority of the takedowns in the first, but Horiguchi was leaving that lead hand down, and Kape pressed forward, and he was finding the hook in that pocket. Horiguchi found the signal kind of that last 15 seconds and definitely showed that he can control Kape if he gets him down, especially in that first round. And he just recreated that success in round 2. Found the hook as Kape would circle out and then threw it again, and it kicked the leg out to secure the takedown and just gain control for the majority of round 2. But Kape, he landed a few elbows off of his back. And just kind of waited for moments where he was able to either scramble or just kind of waited on the ref to stand him up, but it never happened. And Horiguchi did land some good ground and pound while he had Kape on his back. But once it got to round 3, I thought it was really going to be more of the same. And for the majority, it kind of felt like it was. And Horiguchi just landed some nice hooks to the body. Kape has a bad habit of doing the same thing where he kind of dips and keeps his hand low when Horiguchi was closing the distance. And the Gooch was landing clean left hooks when Kape engaged. But Horiguchi had a similar problem that I mentioned in my breakdown last week, where he kind of throws those looping shots and his hands get a little low. Kape slipped that left hook and landed that devastating right straight behind it. And as soon as it did, I mean, he got Horiguchi to the ground. He followed up, and it was that one shot at the end where it was kind of like an uppercut. It went under the armpit and it hit the chin. It
almost
was just
like a shovel hook.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it definitely had a lot of power behind it. I thought it was a good stoppage. I didn't have any issues with the stoppage. I thought Horiguchi was down. If the ref didn't stop it, I think it would have just been more unnecessary ground and pound, honestly. But like you said, Nano, I mean, you can never rule Kape out. I mean, he just has so much power, and you just need one mistake to finish the fight. But definitely a statement win from Kape, and I think it really sets him up for a title shot like that. But MMAnomaly, what you think?
Yeah, same thing. You boys made really great points, and yeah, it was somewhere between like an uppercut or a shovel hook, right? Like shovel hook is not something you see a ton in MMA. It's more of a boxing technique. But if you Google shovel hook, the picture that comes up on Google is actually a picture of an MMA fighter landing one, which I think is just a chef's kiss moment for me. So the shovel hook is typically when you like the uppercut, you come here, you lift your lead foot or you pivot on your toes. Right? Whereas a shovel hook, you're coming in with a hook motion. You're almost blading your stance to an extent. And as you open up at the last second, instead of coming over the top, you just come up or shovel it in, right? You dig in. And I feel like that's what Kape did, right? Like he looked like it was a hook that was coming around, which Gooch probably would have blocked. He has just like you're saying, he throws looping shots. He has kind of a looping shot guard, right? He has that wide guard, which we talk about on the show very often. He would have blocked it if it was a hook. And that's why Kape switched last second to an uppercut / shovel hook. And that's what ultimately started it. It was nasty. Kape was a beast, as Jimbo's old lady said. Khabib used to shovel hook occasionally too. Yes. He would shovel hook like 2 shots before the eagle punch, and it would make people suspect the takedown was coming because he'd get low for it. Dude, yeah, he was nasty with it. I miss Khabib in the octagon, bro. Good shout. Folks, real quick, before I continue, if you're not already following Jax at Making the Walk, do yourself a favor. Not him, you. Do yourself a favor, not now, but right now, and subscribe to that channel. The dude puts out banger content week after week, and he's just an absolute top-tier mind when it comes to the sport. Lazy Bed, all credit to Manel, but the UFC didn't do Horiguchi any favors by putting this in the small cage they used at the Apex. 100%. This serves Manel Kape, somebody who I said last week, and going into the fight watch along, he's very flat-footed, but he plants on everything. He sits down on every single fucking shot. So he's dangerous in that way. When you have less room to cover, less distance to maneuver in and upon in a small octagon, you're favoring the guy that's flat-footed that lacks footwork, right? He doesn't have as much distance to travel to get to the target from point A to point B. So check it out. Look at the fucking legend, Lazy Bed. Thank you for dropping the link in the chat, making it easy for you folks. Go on and subscribe to the legend, Making the Walk MMA. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say that you guys haven't already said, right? Like, Kape went out there and looked like possibly one of the most dangerous dudes at 125 right now. Horiguchi came in hot early. He won the first round. I thought he was doing well in the second round up until he wasn't. He actually rocked Manel, if memory serves me correct, right before he got killed, deaded in there,
he
right?
Did.
Again, like, he was having all the success in the world, and it's just like a game of Fortnite, bro. You fucking take out 3 squads. You're feeling on top of the world. Maybe you hit a little fucking emote, a little dance on them, and then they got you, bro. There was another dude on the fucking hill. You didn't even see him coming. That's what happened, bro. It's the ones you don't see coming. He got deaded. The guy has power for days. He doesn't panic. He's very relaxed in there. That's probably the biggest takeaway from every time that I see him in El Cop fight is he almost looks bored to an extent in there. Like there's not a lot of ferocity, even though he's killing people. You don't see it in his face. He's just very monotone, one emotional. As far as for what's next for him, I mean, do we want to see him fight for a title shot? I'm not going to throw my names out in the hat just yet. I let Nano go first on the breakdown. So Nano, who'd you like to see the man in there with next?
I think I'm okay with honoring his wishes to take a little break and then see what happens with Van and Pantoja. I'm assuming that's going to be on the horizon sooner rather than later. If that's going to be targeted within the next 4 to 6 months, realistically, I think Kape just sits back on his high horse and takes the record and wins and resume and says, okay, I'll parlay that and hopefully get the shot. I mean, like you said, he came in with a lot of hype. He earned his way, unlike maybe some other guys that got a direct title shot. I'm not going to call him out, Kaya Sakura, but yeah, I think the guy certainly deserves to maybe take some rest, like you said, and be ready for the biggest fight of his career, which would be that title contender, whether it is against Pantoja or Van. That's to be determined, ladies and gentlemen. But I think he fights the winner, in my opinion, for the title. And it'll be like I said, maybe in a year. What do you think, Bip?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up perfectly there. I mean, that's exactly what I think as well. I mean, I think Kape set himself up perfectly to fight for a title after a win like that. I think right now behind Van and Pantoja, he's probably one of the best flyweights in the world right now. So I definitely say he's a deserving contender, but it definitely comes down to what happens between Van and Pantoja. I mean, the only name that I could really throw out there if he wants to stay active, Leonard Kavanagh versus Brendan Royval is coming up. Give him the winner of that fight if he wants to stay active. But like you said, Nano, I mean, I think he is talking about taking a little bit of time off and kind of waiting to see what happens there. But I'm all for a title shot, honestly.
So I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I think he deserves the winner of Josh Van versus Pants if that's the next fight they make. However, I am the third myself. So if I can't throw a third name in the hat, hear me out on this one, folks.
I'm happy, thank you! I'm happy, thank you! I'm happy, thank you!
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that shout.
He's still ranked above him on Tapology if we're not going off the AI shit. I haven't even looked at the AI rankings, but I've heard they're a goddamn mess. I mean, folks, in the chat, let us know. Does it make you sad, or are you out there right there with us?
I'm happy, thank you!
Where's your hat, folks?
I'm not mad at Tyro.
I think it makes sense. Like you said, if he wants to stay active, Tyro's Japanese, bro. That motherfucker, he took a beating. He's gonna bounce back in like 2 weeks. He's gonna be Super Saiyan now. They get stronger, like by 3x every time they take an ass kicking. I don't know if you've watched that series, but that's how it works. Van or Kape? Is that Murad MMA? Murad MMA? Nice. New guy. Yeah, like I said, I mean, who would we take in that one? Is that what you're saying? I would probably take Van.
I feel like I would take Van too. But I just kind of went on a whole rant too about how I could never count Kape out. But I feel like the boxing of Van is just kind of too much for the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think
fights.
we'd all take Van, but we'd all possibly be doing a shot the next week.
Hey, that's a good way to sum it up. Yeah.
You know, yeah, we'd possibly, potentially all be doing that.
I think I'll be feeling different as well. I mean, I'll call a spade a spade. I'll definitely be feeling different if he gets to Pantoja. I mean, that was a war with Tatsuro. Tatsuro had some moments as well. I mean, he had to come over some adversity for real. He was in some deep waters. He was
coming back in some of those moments in that last round, bro. He didn't look terrible.
And Kape does have some heavy hands, so I think that has to be factored in here as well. He could change it at any moment. And
but the thing is, with Tatsuro Taira, like Van has heavy hands too. Like if we're talking Taira versus him, even Tatsuro took how many fucking knockout shots from Van and was like, okay, I am happy, thank you. I just got back up.
I feel like Kape has like actual like Van kind of like breaks you down and knocks you out. That's like Kape has that. Yeah, exactly. Kape has that one shot, and it's a game changer.
It's a pistol versus a cannon.
That's perfect.
Yeah, big analogy guy. If you're new here, yeah. Look, with that being said, this was my dog of the week. I had Kyoji Horiguchi. I'm gonna do a shot as I always do when or if I get my dog of the week wrong. It's been a tough season, I'll be honest with you. And God, the fantasy season, it's not looking good. I mean, top 3, realistically, I'm not gonna be there. It's gonna be this guy, my lady, and Drew to talk shit. And I'll be seeing them all in person. Or no, actually, I think you have plans, but I'll be seeing the rest of them in person this weekend to talk shit to me in person. Cheers, folks. If you're drinking, drink with us. I switched to tequila today instead of whiskey. Figured I'd switch it up. Like to be different every now and then. Happy Monday, and hope you got this pick right, because I sure as fuck didn't. Cheers.
He said happy Monday. I've got tequila.
Happy Monday. We switched it up. Thanks, bro. Lazy bed. Hell yeah, bro. And let's go. Jimbo's old lady subbing to making the walk. Legend. I said here, let's jump into the next fight. We had a light heavyweight bout between Iwan Cutelaba and Navajo Stirling. It was a good match for what it was. I still think there are questions about Navajo Stirling, though. I'm not convinced. I'm not 100% sold on his prowess yet. But Pip, tell me I'm wrong.
I can't, because I kind of agree with you. I mean, I'll tell you what. Watching the fight, I actually thought it was more competitive than I thought it should have been. But I mean, Cutelaba, I mean, he's had a smarter game plan for his fight. Honestly, I mean, he immediately took the fight to the clinch. Cutelaba wrapped up the guiillotine. It got pretty tight, even ended up on top at one point, but Sterling just kind of did a good job defending the hips, not letting, fighting the hips to get them out, fighting the hands a little bit. And he showed that you always ask me the one thing that I learned, and that's just, I was impressed with the composure of Sterling. I mean, he stayed calm when he got into kind of some dicey positions. He was able to fight the hands, just kind of escape those bad positions. But once it got to the feet, I mean, Sterling kind of took over. He made investments to the body, knees and left hook to the body when Cutelaba was entering the clinch. And it paid dividends in round 2 because Cutelaba, he just looked a lot slower. And Navajo did a good job at catching Cutelaba when he came in, just kind of crashed with elbows, knees to the body. And Sterling was able to reverse the trip, and Cutelaba just landed and unloaded some shots. But Cutelaba was tired and wasn't really able to fully defend a whole bunch of stuff, especially when he got reversed and he kind of just stood over him and just beat the brakes off of him. I mean, you're kind of in a weird spot where it's like, yeah, you kind of should get up to do stuff, but then you have to move your hands away from your face. You're going to eat more shots getting up. He was kind of in a pickle in the spot that he was in. But, yeah, I mean, a decent win for Navajo Stirling, but there's definitely still some questions that need to be answered. But, Nana, what'd you think?
Yeah, felt similar to you boys here. Appreciate the breakdown, Pip, as always. 2 guys coming into this matchup on different sides of their career, for sure. I think Ian has been around the block and has had some great moments, but has also kind of, squandered some opportunities. And I think that was what ended up happening here on Saturday. It just felt like Navajo, big, powerful, and showed to have some solid durability. To your point, I mean, it wasn't a dominant win, wasn't a flawless victory. Ian is closer to the top echelon in this division, but I think I'm ready to see him take another step up. Not necessarily getting rewarded with a top 15 or something like that, but I think Navajo did enough to warrant, that this is kind of the right caliber of opponents for him. And I think at that division, the light heavyweights, they get a little bit of a pass for, like you mentioned, or like you elegantly broke down, just the position he was in. It's kind of risk versus reward, and they're just able to throw hard enough, big enough shots where it really doesn't take much. And I don't know, the layman in me wants to say, like, I felt like Cutelaba kind of gave up a little bit, or maybe conceded a little earlier than I would have liked, even if it were to just do an explosive movement somewhere, or dip your head down, or just scramble, Umanari roll, something, right? I don't know, you want to see, and he's usually one to do some crazy what in there. So I would have liked to see him channel some of that Hulk or craziness we've grown to love about him. But yeah, I think it felt like he may have conceded, but from a, I guess, position standpoint, right? I mean, maybe that was his only way out, right? Maybe it was a checkmate move, if you will. But MMAnomaly, we'll let you color in the picture here, brother. How did you feel about the Navajo Stirling, an undefeated light heavyweight, climbing up the leaderboard here? How'd you feel?
Oh man, Sterling stays undefeated, right? I believe that makes him 5-0 in the UFC specifically. I mean, he's a fucking stud. Had half his fights in the UFC, half of them out of the UFC, and I mean, he's doing well enough, but I still think there's questions, right? Like, he picked up another finish, but it wasn't all that smooth. It was not smooth sailing, to say the least. Cutelaba brought the chaos like always. Early power shots, brought the pressure in the form of takedowns, right? He landed 5 of 7 takedowns. This was a less than 2-round fight, folks. He got 5 takedowns. That shows holes. Dude is not a fucking grappler. If Iwan got 5 takedowns on you in 7.5 minutes, sub 8 minutes, I mean, it's tough waters, bro. Or sorry, it was 8.5 minutes. So sub 9 minutes. But either way, like, he's averaging a takedown every 2 minutes. And he's not a grappler. That's a fucking problem, boys. Sterling did survive the scares, the early scaries, reverse positions, got top control, unloaded a relentless barrage of punches. And then when he got him against the cage, bless you, it literally looked like Iwan just sat down and was like, this is how it ends. Nothing I can do here. It looked like he just relented the victory, right? Like, he gave it up. It was tough to see. As you said, Nano, I would have liked to see him eat 1 or 2 shots and then Hulk out a little bit like we're used to seeing, but we got Banner. And, you know, sometimes that's how the fight game plays out. Sometimes you get Bruce, sometimes you get Hulk. Either way, you got to root for the fighters you root for. If you were rooting for Iwan, I'm sorry. We were not. And I'm still somewhat let down. I would tell you I'm not overwhelmed by the performance. I'm not underwhelmed by the performance either, right? He did get a finish. I've said this before on the show. I'll say it again. I'm just kind of whelmed, boys. I just feel like it was a whelming performance. It didn't answer any questions I had about him. It didn't tell me where the ceiling is. Quite frankly, it gave me more questions about where the ceiling is for him. We've never seen him get taken down like that, have we? So what happens if he does get paired against a grappler next? And that's what I'm curious about. So jumping into that, Pip, is he getting a grappler? Is he getting a striker? Is he getting somewhere holistically in between? What are you thinking, bro?
You know, I love my my striker versus striker here, but you could kind of say that these are more well-rounded opposition, but I definitely more put them on the striker category. I mean, I think Volkan Ozdemir could be a good shout, or even Dominic Reyes. I mean, those are the 2 names off the tip of my tongue that I really like for Navajo Stirling. I mean, like you said, he's 5-0 in the UFC. He's getting a handful of knockouts. I mean, I say let's kind of give him more of a higher step in competition. But Nano, what are you thinking for his next fight?
I definitely like those 2 names you mentioned. I went a little bit of a, not necessarily different direction, but not as high up the leaderboard, if you will. And I didn't climb as high up on that ladder for a Navajo Stirling. I think someone that tickles my fancy is a veteran, is a solid striker, closer to an Ion Cutelaba, but I think has a little bit more oomph behind his punches. I'm talking about a Dustin Jacoby as someone that I think can pair up really, really well. If not, and this one might be that idea of putting 2 shiny new toys together and smashing them up, but I like my boy Modestas Bukauskas as well. Big bad son of a gun, has a little bit of the grappling in the arsenal. I think he's also fought in the Young Cutelaba as well, so maybe that's 2 guys that, and I think he fought relatively recently. Just both guys just flown outside of that top 15 is really my general sentiment. Anyone can get the smoke here with the Navajo Stirling, but I'll tell you what, dude looks scary, and I would not want to get that call. MMAnomaly, what are you thinking, brother?
Oh man, I love the names you guys pointed out, but I've got some different ones. I'm gonna go with the winner of a fight and the loser of a fight. So give me the loser of Bogdan Guskov versus Jan Blachowicz, or because we like options around here, we like variety. Give me the winner of you're not gonna like this. Give me the winner of Nikita Krylov versus Robert Whittaker.
Damn, that's a big one.
Not overly mad at it. You think Robert Whitaker would fight Sterling? Because aren't they kind of training together now?
Are they? I thought one trained in Australia and the other one trained in New Zealand.
I thought Whitaker's been training over with Izzy and them recently.
Fuck, has he?
Like
I could be
Hooker and
wrong.
stuff too, I think, right? Maybe there was a picture I think I remember seeing of them. That rings
I
a
know.
bell.
I've definitely seen videos of him training with Izzy recently.
Wouldn't shock me, but I guess I don't know for sure. I
But I don't know if that's 100%
believe
sure.
it.
He is. They have
Okay.
become training partners. He's traveled to New Zealand to train at Adesanya's gym. He's helping. Oh, he actually came out to help Adesanya prepare.
Okay.
Oh, look at
Okay.
this, guys. This is why you need to subscribe to Making the Walks channel, folks. I think Rob was Sterling's main training partner for this camp.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I literally just saw that online. Good shout. So, I mean, those are my picks. I think they're pretty solid picks, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I don't know. I like all of our picks, to be completely honest. I feel like we just need to see him in there again sooner rather than later, because this one really didn't do us a ton of favors as far as kind of answering any questions for us. Let's go to the comments here. Navajo Stirling voted most likely to play one of the Monstars in a live action remake of Space Jam. Let's see what that looks like. Jamie, can you pull that up on the monitor, please? Yeah, I think you might be right.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I could see.
He actually looks smaller there than he does in real life. Yeah.
I see the vision.
The tats
You
look
boys
crazy.
like that? You boys like that?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Wait, we have more here. Let's go to the comments before this. So we got Horiguchi was definitely not a bad dog of the week pick. Making the walk. You're gonna make me want to do another shot just for the camaraderie. I appreciate you, brother. I truly do. I truly do. Let's see here. Rumors circulating that Navajo has been cast to play Lurch in a 2027 spinoff of the Addams Family. I mean, that's pretty spot on. Jamie, can you pull that up in the monitor, Jamie? I could see the vision. I could see the vision here. Yeah, I mean, I think the open front shirt would definitely be a must with just the floating collar. You know,
I'm so happy we got a Jamie.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Shout out, Jamie.
I wear the hat of MMAnomaly and Jamie these days. One day we're going to blow up as long as you guys show up. You know what I mean? We're going to be there. We'll have a Jamie that's doing this for me. God, those will be fun days. That's fake news, but I've been telling that joke all week and I laugh every time. No, I think that might be real news. As I said, when you first typed it, I'm dying. I don't know if Nano saw me laughing during his breakdown. I was not indeed laughing at your breakdown at all. No makeup
Wasn't
needed.
that funny? Yeah, fair enough.
I loved it. It didn't add any makeup to him for the AI prompt I did for that. That was fantastic. Useful, my guy, or as he likes to call himself, useless. But I think he couldn't be more wrong. I mean, he's not wrong about many things, but that name, I don't know if it's doing any favors, brother. He's useful. Make sure you subscribe to him. He is the fucking man, the myth, the legend. He actually did a stream right before this where he was breaking down these upcoming fights, which we're going to break down on Friday. So, folks, check out his stream and make sure you're subscribed. You like those, Lazy? Oh, Rain GS8X. Let's go. What's up, boys? How you doing? Useless
Rain G?
Raid. Let's
Aku.
go. Bexot Lock. All right. My guy's already given us picks for the
Hell yeah,
upcoming
hell yeah.
episode. I fucking love that. Let's go.
Lay it away, boys and gals.
Let's
Lay it
go.
away.
So yeah, I feel like we're all in accordance here. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. We have a featherweight bout between Hyder Emil and C-Rod Christian Rodriguez. You know, boys, I picked C-Rod last week. I thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to do well. I didn't know he was going to do this well. I mean, he looked fucking slick as shit out there. The crazy thing is, though, the guy to my far right, I think it was you that said this. He said Hyder was going to have the better striking. He was going to look a lot cleaner on the feet, and that, you know, he was going to be the stronger guy on the
Pause.
feet.
There you go. There you go. A lot of pressure.
I'm not discrediting you. Take a deep breath, bro. I'm saying this to compliment you. It was even on the strikes. I was doing that all to say you were correct. It was 23-23 on total strikes, and it was 23-20 on significant strikes. So you were right. He did have the power, and he did have the pressure. But ipso facto, I was also right. I was right too. C-Rod was the more well-rounded MMA fighter, and the grappling was indeed there for him. So, you know, two things can be mutually correct. And that's what we saw in this fight. It was a great performance from C-Rod. He looks slicker than I think we've ever seen. I mean, dude, he was slicing through the guard to get that sub like a hot knife through butter, brother. And he just made it look clean. He made it look simple, and he made it look slick. I think if you asked me to describe this fight in one word, I would say slick. I've said it numerous times already to talk about C-Rod, and I just think that that's a great way to describe him. He's constantly improving as a fighter out there, and he's not old by any means. Like, he's still entering fight prime. So I like C-Rod in this fight. I thought it was a stunning performance. I thought we learned a lot about him. He's 13-4. Sure, it's not the greatest record in the world, but I think he proved that he has a right to that top 20. Nano, I'll go to you next on this one. What were your thoughts on C-Rod and Hyder Amil?
Yeah, I felt like almost from the jump, although the striking numbers suggest it was closer than I felt like it was with the eyeball test. I mean, I just thought like C-Rod looked like the bigger, badder dude, a little bit faster, a little bit sharper. And for whatever reason, man, I just felt like Hyder Amil was a little bit more gun shy. I don't know if it's just some of the recent learning lessons he had in there. You know, obviously those were L's on the record sheet, but just a little bit more timid. And he's been someone who I know repping the Bay Area, so shout out for him putting on for the city, or for all the cities out here representing the Bay. But other than that, you know, man, it's just hasn't had that same kind of dog mentality, or at least when the going gets tough, you see him start to really wither away sooner than you'd like. And CR just, again, on all accounts, look badass. Shout out Lazy Bed here. Was cool. He dedicated it to the late Duke Rufus too. Shout out the legend in the game, Duke Rufus, one of the early pioneers. If you don't know, we're worth a Google.
The guy that brought up Anthony Showtime Pettis, played the father figure after his dad was murdered, and also the guy that trained CM Punk for his UFC debut.
Hell yeah. See, there you go. Has a footprint on the game.
Fun facts.
The more you know. Knowledge is power. And that's exactly what Christian Rodriguez has. C-Rod has some absolute power in his hands and his legs as well. I mean, again, he's someone that's always done good, even in his losses. I think it's just like nail bite margin, just, you know, on the wrong side of it. But this was a big one. And putting Hyder Amil out like that, I mean, that choke was so deep from the rip. Even though Hyder took him down, it was over before he even hit the canvas. So shout out C-Rod. I'm excited to discuss what's next for him, but I'll let the boy here break it down. I think it's you, MMAnomaly, right? Did we go left, right, or did I get
No, it's my guy Pip with the major.
Oh, here we go, Pip. Bring us home, baby.
Yeah, I'm kind of eating my words on this one for sure. But watching the fight, the striking did not feel as competitive as it was. You said the significant strikes were like kind of neck and neck, but I don't know what the fuck counts as a significant strike really in the UFC. But those kicks that got through from Rodriguez were definitely significant. And the little pepper 1-2s from Hyder Amil, if they were counted, I didn't think did that much damage. It definitely comes down to damage. And I mean, we got right to action at the start of this bout. I mean, we didn't really take any time filling each other out. We just kind of came out fighting, and right off rip, I mean, Christian was timing the right strikes off the kicks from Hyder as well. And I mean, Hyder was throwing some of these kicks with just no setups. And on the other way, you saw Christian Rodriguez throwing that 1-2 and putting that kick behind it. And it got through multiple times. And that's exactly what got him to finish. They had the homie with the karate strike clickers, octagon side. That one sounded loud, significant. Yeah. It's just
that's what it feels like more often than not for these fights. It's like, how did he get more significant strikes than the dude that won? When I watched that fight, it didn't look that way at all.
And I might be like a big casual for saying this, but I really need to hear like the definition of a significant strike. Like, what's the full breakdown of it?
His eyes are about to roll. He's gonna rip his headphones out. Like, don't make me go through this again.
It's just
it's such a cosmetic fucking. It's like, so
we need some more descriptions. Yeah, like we need
significant strikes. Like, if you ask 9 out of 10 guys, oh, he punched that guy in the face. Oh, he punched that guy in the body. Which one do you think hurt worse? Well, the one to the face, that one was significant. That dude, have you seen Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria? One of the most significant strikes was not to the face, kid.
It was not.
Yeah, don't get me started on that one, bro.
I'm so sorry to just make you even go to that dark place. But I mean, it was pretty much a dominant win from Christian Rodriguez, I thought, for the most part. I mean, he pretty much got the TKO and the submission win in one round. So very slick submission. And yeah, like you said, I mean, he's a very well-rounded skill set. I mean, he's got decent strikes. The way he was throwing those 1-2s and the high kicks behind it, I mean, that kind of Leon Edwards-esque. I mean, it was very nice. And his grappling is just slick. I mean, I think he can present real problems, especially if he can kind of fine-tune some things. He's a young guy. I'm excited to see him next, or when he fights next.
Nano, what are you thinking, brother?
We're doing are we doing what's next for C-Rod here?
Yeah, what's next for the C-Rod machine?
I mean, honestly, I'm okay with him getting anyone in the top 15, to be honest. I feel like he's done enough. I'd have to look back at his win streak record, but I mean, I think anyone in the top 10 to 15 would be fine with me. Do you guys have any good names as I scramble here?
15 is a jump because he's 29 right now on Tapology, but I'm also not mad at it, right? Like if we're looking at number 15, Sean Woodson hasn't fought in a minute, coming off a TKO loss. I'm not mad at that as a top 15 pick. However, right outside of that top 15, I think we've got a lot of fun talent that's just ripe for the picking. I think it'd be really fun to see him against a Chepe Mariscal, also coming off a decision loss. Another one that I think would be a lot of fun for him would probably be a guy that had to pull out of this fight card, Giga Chikadze, right? He was originally slated to fight Vinicius Lookdog Oliveira. I'm pretty sure after seeing that performance, he's probably not going to want that. And then outside of that, I got one more name on the tip of my tongue. And Nano, I know you're not going to like this one, so maybe earmuff or put me on mute. Josh Emmett, I think, would be a really fun shout for C-Rod.
I actually love that one a lot.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the Josh Emmett shout either. The other names that I were kind of thinking of for Rodriguez was a William Gomis or Julian Juicy J or Rosa.
Juicy J I actually had on my list, but I scratched him off because I couldn't remember if he got cut in the last string of cuts from the UFC.
Oh,
if he's still a UFC fighter, I want that fight. That's the fight I want. I love Juicy J.
I think he is coming off like back-to-back losses too, so I don't know.
Yeah. But he's like Matt Schnell, bro. If he wants to fight, you let him fight in the UFC, bro. He's a litmus test.
Yeah. He's a good gatekeeper essentially.
Yeah, he's the epitome of a gatekeeper. He is the litmus test on do you belong in the top 20. If you get past him, top 15 right away. What about C-Rod versus Sabatini? John Dong. I'm not mad at that at all. Good old Pat.
I like that shout
too.
I
like that. I like Patty.
Give yourself a pat on the back, my friend, for that recommendation. That was a great one. Let's jump into the next one. We have another featherweight bout between Melsik Bagdasaryan and Murtazali Magomedov. Fun names. I honestly can't wait to hear Pip say these. This was a very entertaining bout for as long as it lasted. Bagdasaryan always brings the excitement, but man, landing 3 strikes in a UFC fight is tough. Let's see. I think I went first on the last one. Nano, jump in on this one, brother. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on Bagdasaryan and Magomedov?
Honestly, I felt like going into it, I was a little torn on who had the upper hand. I feel like both guys are certainly dogs, and it was Magomed who was the Ben favorite, but I really like Melsik and his skill set, and like I said, just the overall toughness he came in here with. Looked sharp until, well, frankly, he didn't. This guy, Murtazali Magomedov, again, maybe it's the Magomedov in him, but certainly someone a force to be reckoned with, and got to his marks, had a strong, and what was it, is it the third twister in UFC history here, if I'm not mistaken? Fourth
twister in UFC history, first Scottish twister in UFC history. And
Scottish twister.
That's what it was. It was the Scottish twister.
Well, they may need to switch it to the Magomedov twist Magomedov, because he absolutely just corkscrewed this guy. I mean, those twisters are absolutely crazy. catches you off guard. It's a no shit moment, and you gotta just assume it feels absolutely gut wrenching, feels absolutely brutal in there. But hell of a performance, hell of a stamp, bro, in his career. Yeah, I mean that's
the quickness of the tap, and like if you look at what the twister does to the body fundamentally, to my knowledge, and if there's a BJJ black belt or even fucking purple belt or brown belt in here, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but looking at the way the body functions and what it does to the body, it looks like it's putting a bind on your neck and your spine. Like, if you're choking me out, Nano saw this just a couple months ago. I'm probably not going to tap. I will let you put me to sleep and just try and defend the choke. And then I'll wake up and be like, fuck, did I go to sleep? Damn, good job, bro. If you're going to break my arm, that's going to prompt a tap. If you are feeling like you're going to make me a fucking paraplegic, I am going to tap with the quickness, brother. Get up, I'm tapping down with the quickness. You know what I'm saying? It's happening quick. Ooh, wah. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a bad place. So yeah, the twister is a fucking terrifying one. Pip, we saw it live. We reacted to it live. I think I said the term, that was weird, like probably 15 times. And I will say it again. It was weird. It was not a normal twister. And now we know that. It was a Scottish twister. So now that we know, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm happy you actually did the due diligence and looked up what the actual definition of it was, because that was weird summed it up perfectly. I just been calling it that was weird submission, really, because it was a very odd submission. But the Scottish twister makes a lot of sense. I mean, this was another fight where it just felt like there wasn't much of a feeling out process. And Olin, you'll appreciate how I get through the names here. So I'm just going to go Melsek. He came out blasted body and teep kicks. He landed a few nice hooks to the body. But as we all know, if your last name is Magomedov, the grappling is probably pretty high level, and that showed. I mean, Magomedov shot for the singles. Melsek kind of sprawls, and Magomedov throws the right hook and just causes Melsek to kind of stumble. It really capitalizes on that. He takes the back. He looks for that rear naked choke. Then he gets that body lock, and I don't really know much about a Scottish twister. I don't really know exactly what happened watching it live. But really from what I saw, I mean, it was weird. I mean, Magomedov just kind of gets the body triangle. He pins Melsek down kind of to the mat with his own arm. So he's using his own arm to kind of hold him there. And then he brings his left arm over the face of Melsek while keeping his hips locked with that body triangle, and essentially just kind of torques and tries to tear his torso apart. And he got the submission win. And Olin, like you said, I mean, he tapped so quick when that happened. So I don't really know what it was. I just know that if you're in that position, you cannot hang around there too long. I would tap very quick as well. But nonetheless, it was a very impressive debut and a wild submission to end the fight. But definitely a guy that I think is worth keeping an eye on, especially with a submission like that.
And there's also something too, like, have you guys ever popped your back just by like turning side to side and you feel it go?
Do it every
day.
All
the time, right? I do it every day. I haven't done it since my hernia surgery because I'm terrified I'll tear my shit open. But it's one of my favorite things to do pre-surgery. So when you do that for yourself, it's comforting. It's great. It releases pressure. When someone is forcing your body to do it and you know that it hurts, even that sound, that feeling of, it's a normal good feeling, but that's going to be a mental fuck, like, oh no, my shit's breaking. I feel like that probably happens during a submission like the twister. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird mental mind fuck. And the not only the quickness that he tapped, but the severity. Like, he tapped like it was a panic tap, bro. And I understand, like, it's no shame to him at all. And shout out to my guy making the walk. Without looking, who had the fastest twister submission in UFC history? I, of course, guessed Bryce Mitchell. And he said, before that, anybody want to throw a shot in the dark?
I don't remember who the first twister was in the UFC.
It was Zombie.
David Onam. Oh, Zombie.
Was it Zombie? That's right.
Zombie.
That's right.
Zombie. So it was Zombie against Leonard Garcia, round 2, 4 minutes and 59 seconds in, last second of round 2. Back at UFC Fight Night 24, Nogueira versus Davis, March 26, 2011 in Seattle. Bryce Mitchell then did it against Matt Sales, round 1, 4 minutes and 20 seconds, UFC on ESPN 7, December 7th, 2019, followed by Damon Blackshear getting it done over Jose Johnson, UFC Vegas 78, August 12th, 2023, and then again in the Little Octagon, UFC Vegas 119, Kape versus Horiguchi. We see it get done by a Magomedov. I mean, this is just a beautiful thing to see. Like I said, and one thing that I don't think anybody has mentioned, let me actually double check the stats here. So we have round 2. Round 1, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Round 1, 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And this one was round 1, 1 minute and 17. So this is the fastest a twister has ever been pulled in UFC history. And the first Scottish twister in UFC history. Double accolade. You know what I'm saying?
Debut and breaking
for
two
the
records.
fucking boy. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, come on. It's collecting all the points right away. You love to see it. This was just a fantastic fight. There's not a whole lot else to say. Magomedov just excels in scrambles and leg attacks typically. And Bagdasaryan has solid striking, but his ground game got massive holes exposed on it. And this is not a normal submission, so maybe his ground game is typically good, but against someone that has these types of aces in their back pocket, it's tough. It's tough pickings, boys. So with that, let's go ahead and move into who we're taking next for the Magomedov guy. Who do we think, boys? Who do we think?
Man, I mean, that was a wow moment. It was a special submission win. I wouldn't mind seeing him get thrown in high up on the rankings. Not necessarily top 15er. You know, I know I was throwing C-Rod up there, but not necessarily all the way into the Lion's Den. But, you know, whether it's somebody that's just outside of that top 15, top 20, whether it's someone like the Korean Superboy, Doo-Ho Choi, coming off of 3 TKO victories, or if maybe we want to see a grappler versus another grappler, I think Anderson Brito would be my secondary choice there, sitting at 25 currently. I like that neck of the woods, but what do you, Pip, anyone sticking out to you, brother?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. And I actually, those names kind of flew right past my radar, but I think those are all solid fights. The two that I kind of was thinking of in my head was, I'm going to give you the one that I don't like the most. And this is going to be a loser of match, but I'm going to say the loser of Khan Ofli versus Javier Reyes. I think that could be a decent fight, but it's not my favorite. Nano, I like what you said with kind of jumping this guy up a little bit. I mean, how about a Jordan Levitt? I mean, I think that could be a solid fight as well.
I'm not mad at that. I'm definitely not mad at that. I like the names Yadier, the Cuban Problem, Del Valle. I also like John, the Sexy Mexi Castaneda, coming off 2 decision losses and a split decision or a unanimous decision draw, I believe. Let's see, what was it? Majority decision. The other name that I had was the loser of Bogdan Grad and Denis Bajuka.
I'm not mad at that shout either. That's a good fight.
Solid.
I think he wins any of those fights of any of the names that you guys listed as well. He's at least top 25. And then we get to really see how good this guy is. But I mean, Scottish Twister, I think we know. I think there's a pretty high ceiling for this guy here. With that, we move into one of, if not the saddest fights that we're going to talk about tonight. I mean, God, our guy was looking so fucking good up until he wasn't. Talking about an Andre Touchy Fili in the featherweight division, coming in against a Vinicius Oliveira, or as our boy Tico Tech likes to call him, Vinny Olives. Man. This one was just a sad fight. It was a sad fight because, you know, Andre was doing really good. He was dominating that first round. He hurt him. He literally made him go, he made him do the Peter Griffin, bro. Like, he hit him so hard and he dug his feet into that kick. And you heard it just echo in the fucking thing, bro. The body kick had Oliveira hurt so bad. Had him crying. Fucking finish him. Brother, finish him. You know what I'm saying? That's what we needed. We needed one of those. That's what we needed. But he just didn't. And, you know, we talked about this on the live stream on the watch along, right, Pip? I was like, stop getting greedy. He's going to the well with those fucking kicks. Now he's just boom, 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 spamming them, and he's blocking them. You gotta mix it in. Pop, pop, kick. Pop, pop, boom. Rip that fucking body like Ilya. Or just come around. Boom, boom, boom. No, I'm not. Ha! And then fucking hit him on the other side like Ilya did with Justin. We see that work. This over and over again, that doesn't fucking work. I'm gonna block it. Like, what are we doing, bro? You don't just fuck spam the same move. This is not EA Sports UFC 6. And if it is and you do that, you're still going to get knocked out 9 out of 10 times. If you're playing against somebody good, like Vinny Olives and the controller sticks, it was tough, bro. It was tough. I poured up another shot for this one because I'm just sad. I'm not, it's like we said to Sterling the other day. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. I wanted more. Look how they massacred my boy. Cheers, folks. If you're drinking with me on this beautiful Monday afternoon, please pour one up. If you're drinking water, drink with Nano. If you're drinking soda, drink with Pip. If you're drinking nothing, that's fine too. Drink your fucking tears of your enemies. That's fine. Cheers to you, though. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications. We appreciate the fuck out of you being here.
Salute.
I still can't get over it. You said he Peter Griffined it.
You hate to see it.
That's such a perfect analogy.
He made him Peter Griffin up there, bro. Yeah, I mean, it was nasty. After that, though, we get into the second round, and I don't know if Vinny Olives has a friend that's into kung fu movies, and he just said, "Bro, you got to watch Ong Bak the night before your fight. You got to do it." That motherfucker started boo, boo, boo. He started dropping fucking tomahawk elbows on him. Real question. I'm not trying to be a casual here, and maybe I don't remember it, and recency bias is a real son of a bitch. Do you remember Vinny Olives throwing fucking tomahawk elbows like that?
Not Vinny Olives, no.
That's a new layer, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember the first time we saw Adesanya do it. I think it was his first or second fight in the UFC. He went on Joe Rogan immediately after that, and Joe was like, "Man, you were landing those tomahawk elbows just ad nauseum. Is that something that you train in the gym, or is that something that is like a new layer that you train for this fight?" And Adesanya literally is like, "No, you ever seen that movie Ong Bak with Tony Jaa? Yeah, he throws them Ong Bak elbows." And I saw my opponent, he did this with his guard. He kept opening his guard for the hooks. And I was like, "Oh man, them Ong Bak elbows would probably land." So he came forward and I jumped forward, and I landed an Ong Bak elbow. And I'm like, "Shit, that shit really landed though." So then I just started throwing them. So you never trained that in your camp? That's fucking wild. I feel like it might be the same for Vinny Olives. I think homie just actually watched Ong Bak the night before his fight. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm a firm believer that if you watch that movie at least 1 to 2 times, you now know how to throw tomahawk elbows. You know what I'm
good
saying?
shot. I think that was Adesanya in his.
I know kung fu.
I think that was Adesanya in his Robert Wilkinson fight.
There you go.
His debut, yeah, right against the finishing sequences when he started landing them too.
Blip, blip.
Nasty.
It was nasty, bro. It was nasty. So yeah, with that, Pip, I'll go ahead and jump to you next. What were your thoughts on Vinny Olives turning this thing around?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very competitive fight, like you said, up until the finish. I mean, both guys had a lot of moments, and it really kind of came down to the kicks in the first round, I thought. I mean, Oliveira was chopping the lead leg of Fili, and Fili was all able to blast those kicks to the body, and Oliveira just kind of did a good job at fighting at range. He was fighting the hands, throwing straights right over the guard of Fili. But you guys kind of already summed it up. You in the chat. I mean, it's kind of that last minute mark of round one. I think it was just a bad IQ moment from Fili. He blasted 2 back-to-back body kicks, and it hurt Oliveira bad. I mean, you saw him grunt, and Fili just kind of went forward and started headhunting. All he might have needed was another body kick. Was really all it was, or kind of condition the hands to bring him back up high and throw another kick. And I mean, I feel like you also saw moments where. In the first round where he was starting to condition the hands to go low, where he was throwing those kicks, he might as well just throw a high kick up there as well because his body kicks were getting blocked at a certain point. But he kind of just gave Oliveira all the time to recover, and that kind of just led to Fili's demise in round 2. I mean, Oliveira started catching those kicks, using it to push forward and unloading hooks to the body in the pocket, and just continues chopping down that leg, and Fili just couldn't get off the fence. It was just a continuous breakdown of Fili against the cage, and with about 4 seconds left in round 2, he got it done. And while he still got the win, I'm still not overly impressed with Oliveira's striking ability. I mean, he's so wild, so I'll be interested in seeing him in there with a more technical striker, just because I felt like he did leave so many openings in that fight. It was just kind of he had good pressure and good head movement, and he's kind of hard to get or whatever. But Oliveira, a lot of times he's landing 5 or 6 strikes by the time you do it, but he just leaves so many openings. He dips his head. I just want to see him in there with a technical striker, but still a good win over a tough opponent. But Nano, what'd you think? Before
we pass it to Nano, I want to ask both of you guys a question. In hindsight, going back and watching the fight, or even if you haven't rewatched it, just having time to really break it down and think about it. Do you think it was a game plan issue, like that, or him abandoning the body shot in the second round, or do you think that it was the fact that like 3 of those kicks to the legs got checked back to back to back at the end of round 1, beginning of round 2, and that just, I mean, for most people, if you've ever, like in the chat, if you've ever had a leg check kicked, and one of them was, you remember this, dude? We were doing the live watch along. One of them was going to the body and he raised the knee enough to check it.
Yeah.
And the knee grazed the shin. Those are fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Like Mary used to play connect the dots with the hematoma on my shins when that would happen. Like, it's fucking foul how bad those things hurt.
The leg kicks were nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Like, once you start checking those, even if I've trained a game plan for 6 weeks or 6 months for that matter, my leg feels like it's going to explode if you check it again. I'm just gonna punch you.
Yeah, because the main issue I thought as well with the leg kicks was that I thought Oliveira was just, or not Oliveira, Fili was getting pinned too much against the fence. You make a solid point with those leg kicks because that really limited his movement going down, and Oliveira was chopping the leg kicks early. I mean, it was an essential part of his game plan. I think Fili should have worked on checking the kicks, but maybe it's something
Like
he kind of learned from the next time.
They were both checking. They were both landing kicks, and then Oliveira checked like 3 of them that we called out.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's when Fili was like, it's kind of like that Captain America, the ending, and was the end game. You know, I don't think I will. His coaches are like, throw a kick. He's like, you know what? I don't think I will.
It's like when your coach tells you to get up when you're on the ground. Like, you get in here and do it, bro.
My leg's a fucking balloon. Sorry to overtake Nano. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this one, bro? And do you think that the kicks getting checked ultimately led to his demise?
It definitely could have factored in. I mean, as someone that has not necessarily checked a lot of kicks on either end of that spectrum, like, it's harder for me to say that. But what I will say is sometimes it's not even the ones that look bad or sound bad. Those obviously catch your attention. But to your point, maybe it's just like one of those grazing shots or just getting enough of the shin in the way of that kick to hurt you, and you may not even notice it. I don't know if I looked for or saw any body language or anything that suggested it would have hurt, but then again, these guys have some of the best poker faces too. Yeah, I mean, so I'd have to just assume that. Yeah, and honestly, you know, I mean, some good banter here in the comment section. Shout out, just doing it, mentioning Fili maybe not being skilled enough, or Oliveira being the striker. But hey, if skill was not the issue, or skill was the issue rather, not the game planning, there's levels to the striking, and that was clear. I mean, Vinicius is vicious, right? That's why I like calling him Vicious Oliveira. This guy is somebody that went up a weight division.
Vicious Olives might be better than Vinny Olives.
You know the vibes. Vicious Vinicius.
All right, guys. Look to the MMAnomaly shop in about a week or 2. I'm gonna have Vicious Olives merch available. I'm kidding.
Like a martini, but it's just him sitting in the glass. Yeah, man. I mean, this is somebody that I think is a tweener in divisions, and he's going to settle in just fine. I mean, the power transferred over. I think probably a better weight cut, maybe able to bulk up a little bit or just enjoy the process a little bit more. I mean, his only blemish in the other division was to Mario Batista, who is just still an absolute dog. So I'm surprised. I'm a bit butthurt. I love Andre Touchy Fili, hence the name itself, but also we got to meet him in Vegas after his absolute war with was it Jeremy Stevens or who was it? No, was it
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now.
Thank you. But while I stall for time, yeah, I mean, Vinicius Oliveira is someone that is going to make some splashes here in the division. I think it just felt like it was one of those things. Once he stopped respecting the power of Andre Touchy Fili, I think he sort of gave us a show and went to a primal place and just saying, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. And like you said earlier, maybe some anime roots were just really free-flowing in there. Look-see-do style, if you will. I mean, this guy's violent.
It was Cub Swanson.
Cub Swanson, okay, yep. Absolute bloodbath, absolute war. And that's what Touchy Fili's been in a lot of. I think, although we can maybe use some recency bias, I do appreciate, Lazy Bet as well mentioning that, if you go back to 2021, Fili's has 27 bouts and never had consecutive losses. So it's like someone that always bounces back. But shout out the Rhino guy, I know there as well. But you know, I think all things considered, this is a hell of a matchup. Vicious is gonna do just fine in this division. As MMAnomaly's cracking up over here. Shout out to Anti-Kenny as well.
He said people are trying to say that Kape is on PEDs now. Bro, it's obvious you missed the first half of the show. Yes, I think he is. We're gonna go through it real quick again for Anti-Kenny. Pre-USADA leaving the chat, decisions. Canceled fights. Pullouts due to weight misses. Post-USADA leaving the chat, no cancellations. No fight reschedulings. First or second round finishes. There is a clear discrepancy in what's happening here, bro. And I think that it has a lot to do with the utilities, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. No, don't. No shame. No worries. I'm happy to go over it again. I'm just saying there are facts and stats and data points that clearly point out that there has been a difference since USADA has left the chat and it's run by one of Dana's homies instead. Do you think the fight would have gone differently or the same had Giga stayed in as Oliveira's opponent? I think it would have gone differently because, let me just play devil's avocado here before I do my breakdown. And before I even do my breakdown, I'm going to give these two a chance to respond to this too. Let me ask you, just very basic question, right? What was the biggest shot of the fight against Vinny Olives? Nano?
It was a liver shot?
Right. It was the body kick to the liver. Now, Pip, do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. The body kicks were it, and Giga has some nasty kicks.
Right. So Giga, I'm here to tell you, 12, 13-year Muay Thai practitioner here. What Giga throws that they called the Giga kick, he didn't invent anything. He just does it really perfect. It's a round kick, right? Have you ever seen the movie Roadhouse? Like the roundhouse kicks are there all fucking day for Patrick Roadhouse. Every time I used to throw a roundhouse kick on the fucking pads, my boy Drew, who's probably going to come in second place in our fantasy season, would be like, Roadhouse. Like, again, roundhouse kick is just a traditional Thai kick. It's a body kick from either stance, right? As long as you don't switch. So he just does that. And he does it fundamentally and foundationally perfect. And because he does it, not only does it give one of these loud fucking clicks in the echo of the whatever stadium they're in, but it hurts. It doesn't feel good. And he also hits it at the right target. So Fili throws kicks. He lobs kicks. He has good kicks. I'm a big Fili fan. One of my favorite fighter interactions I've ever had is with Andre Touchy Fili. So I would never disparage him. But he is a MMA striker, whereas Giga is also an MMA striker, but he's more kick heavy. He's more kick fundamentally built. That's literally his foundation. They name a kick after you, you probably know you're a kicker. And when he throws it, he throws it with precision. He throws it up and angled, and it ends up hitting right. So you can't really see, like right here on these lower ribs. The 2 to 3 lower ribs are the easiest ribs to break in the human body. They take half the amount of impact to break as the upper ribs. So if you can land on just those, you're not going to disperse that energy across 4, 5, 6 ribs. If you can just hit the liver and those last 2 ribs, man, he's pissing blood tomorrow, and you might have cracked something in there, bro. He doesn't want to be here, is what I'm hearing. So I just genuinely think that if Giga fought him, bad news bears. That's the headline. Bad news bears for Vicious Olives. I don't like how that plays out for him. I don't. But with that being said, all of that to say, I'll keep my breakdown short and sweet because I've already gone over here and these boys already took all the meat, which I'm not at all sad about. It was a great performance. He looked really good. I do think that the checked kicks played a lot into this, but that's nothing against Vinny or for Andre, right? I think it goes back to exactly what who was it that said this earlier? I think it was Just Doing It. Yeah, when he said that Andre Fili was not skilled enough. It was a skill issue, not a game plan issue. If you are skilled enough, you know how to throw those kicks and mask them behind a 1-2, then you're throwing that lead leg kick, or a 1-2 shadow kick, you're throwing that rear leg kick, just jackknifing it in right behind the cross. The cross isn't meant to land, it's meant to test, to graze, to fucking set it up. He wasn't doing that. He was leading with the kicks more often than not, and that's why they're able to get checked. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, Just Doing It. And with that being said, I'm just gonna throw my name out first on this one. I only have one name. It's Vinny Olives versus Giga Chikadze. You reschedule it. We saw that his body might be a little sus. Let's see what happens when it goes in there against a real fucking hoss. Pip, what are you thinking, bro?
Giga Chikadze is the only one that makes sense to me. I mean, that's the fight that was really supposed to happen. Giga had to pull out. I say let's run that one. If you want to stay fresh and you want a different name, David Onama, I think, could present some of those similar problems. So, yeah, he grew a fucking steroid titty from what I saw. Yeah. Did you see, speaking of that whole fight, back to it real quick, did you see Horiguchi land the elbow right off the boob? Kind of used it, came down, landed that elbow. It was nasty.
Bounced it off the boobie, used the trajectory, the reverb from it, if you will, the recoil. It was nice. Nice. Those big old, badonkadonks right there could be the problem. It could be the downfall for his next fight. You know what I'm saying? You hit one coming down, use the reverb off it to load the next one. You come over the top. I mean, come on, brother. Come on. Nana, you got any names?
Those are some solid ones. No, I'm going Giga. I mean, that's the name.
It makes the most sense.
Yeah. It just, like, it was already scheduled. Giga wants the fight. He wants the fight. And I think we need the fight. Man, let's go into another one I was wrong about, huh? We had a flyweight bout between Andre Lima and Kevin Borjas. Funniest MMA fighter tweet I think I've seen in weeks was Andre Lima right after this fight saying, "Bantamweight, you just got yourself a new fighter." Like 2 hours after he got beat. He went on Twitter, he's like, "I'm moving up." And someone commented on it and was like, "Do you really think that the answer to your problems is to go up in weight class and fight bigger guys?" And he responded and was like, "Yep."
Yes, it is.
They're not as fast. Man, this was a weird fucking fight. Nano, do you want to take the lead on this one, bro?
Yeah, brother. I'll be short and sweet. This was, like you said, a weird one, an interesting one for sure. Felt like a little bit more of a backyard brawl than it did maybe the highest level of fights. I say that because you just look at the accuracy of both of these opponents. Almost feels like a boxing match. It's 38% for the winner, Kevin Borjas, and then 48% for his opponent, Andre Lima, the new bantamweight contender. All in all, I just felt like Kevin had the more impactful punches. They weren't necessarily always balanced or necessarily the best technique, if you will, but hey, he went out there and he turned it into a slugfest. He was able to get into the driver's seat of the fight and made it his style, and he was able to get the W. With Andre moving up, maybe there's a gas tank issue there. Maybe he wasn't able to do as much as he would have wanted. Like we were talking about, sometimes that training camp and how you're able to prepare. If you're so worried about borderline not killing yourself to get into that octagon and make weight. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, was he overweight? Did he sacrifice some of his purse? I feel like I need to double check this.
I think he may have been overweight.
So maybe that might have been why. But again, Kevin Borjas is someone that is solid in the division and will continue to, I think, make some splashes here. He's had some great opportunities, but this was one of the bigger wins for him. And I'm excited to discuss what you guys think's next for the Peruvian El Gallo Negro and Kevin Borjas.
Pip, what are you thinking, brother? What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of those fights that shows that you really need to do something with the aggression that you bring, and that's pretty much what we watched the whole fight. Was that Lima kind of spent a lot of times, especially through the first half of the round, where he was kind of making reads and just kind of gauging the pressure, and that's kind of what it turned into for the rest of the fight. It was very odd. It was just you'd see Kevin Borjas just kind of landing these, 5 or 6 shots by the time Lima got in the pocket. And Lima maybe landed a jab or maybe a straight, maybe a leg kick. But even after those 3 shots, 18 shots from Kevin got through. So, you just kind of saw that over and over again. It was more of a frustrating performance, I thought, from Lima because he created a lot of those openings. He was kind of kicking the legs. He just needed to go. He needed to throw forward. When he did throw, he was landing. He just needed to do something with it. We did get a kind of a nut shot there in the middle of the second round, which that was the longest nut shot that I've seen. It was the first time that I've seen the stoppage go longer than 5 minutes and the fight still continue. So I thought that was interesting. But even when that happened, Kevin kind of came out a little bit more aggressive, like he just got kicked in the nuts. But it kind of just slowed down to the same thing over and over again. I just think Lima really needs to work on. If he's going to pressure you, he needs to do something with it. I just think Lima, in that fight, he was his own worst enemy, and that's pretty much all I thought it was.
I think that might be why he actually said he was going up to bantamweight as a joke, possibly, because Borjas actually missed weight by 3 pounds. So he came in at 129, just as close to bantamweight as he was to his weight class. And before I talk any more about this fight or what's next, Vicious Olives.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
I might have to actually turn that into a shirt.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Sticker or something.
Don't you guys hate it when a guy misses weight, shows up and wins? I think over 80% of guys who miss weight end up winning fights too. Some wild stats. I think it's 59% for the year. But either way, come on, bro. 6 out of 10 times the homie that cheats is winning. That's tough. Borjas and his team are awesome. Strategy for that ass. I love that. Love that Matua. And shout out Lazy Bed. Lafayette, Louisiana native Crispy Carly Judice versus Jaisla Chavez, set for 8/22 sanctioned slaughter. Let's go. Nano, I'm going to need you to forget you heard that for when we do our draft in a week. I will be coming for that ass. I need Carly Judice, not your ass, her ass. Pause. Neither ass, figuratively. Anthony Kennedy, I know y'all probably talked about it, but that Dustin Poirier shit made me sad. And then Colby Covington pissed me off with his stupid ass fucking comments. Yeah, there's a reason people cheered when that guy got his jaw broken and people cried when Dustin lost. I'm here to tell you, I grew up in Louisiana. I'm drinking alcohol right now. This is just a normal thing for Louisianians. And I think there's a number of things to this story. One, he got arrested at 6 or 7 p.m. You think the dude was wilding out, starting fights, causing a ruckus at that time? Absolutely fucking not. Come on, bro. Let's think about this. And 2, there were videos posted an hour or 2 before the arrest of him hanging out with Ben Askren's homies and former team and just wrestling them at the bar at the airport. I think he was wrestling around with some guys at the bar at the airport, ended up getting in trouble because the cops saw, someone ratted him out, talked some shit, and then an ATL guy asked him for his ID. Saw that it was a Louisiana ID and was like, oh, Saints versus Falcons rivalry? Let me stoke the fucking flames, kid. You know what I feel? So, come on, bro. I don't think it's he's depressed. He's drinking his sorrows away. He's getting carried away. I think it was Father's Day. I think he went on a trip. I think he was at the ass end of that trip. And I think he was turning up, having a good fucking time. Fuck the Dirty Birds, brother. Let's go. Fucking Auntie Kenny, I knew you were my fucking guy. Ha! Saints versus Falcons. Brother, I was there. I was there for the shit before we won some shit. You know what I mean? Back when they had Aaron Brooks and we had his shitty cousin. They had Michael Vick and we had his shitty cousin Aaron Brooks, who had none of the family talent. Those games against each other were fucking painful. And then we got Brooks. Or we got Breeze. Sorry. So, my gosh, come on. Excellent way to cap Father's Day in a cell. Brother, he was there for an hour, okay? He capped Father's Day on a plane heading home with people hating on him who will never accomplish half of what he has. Miss me with that shit. I think Dustin's living life. I think he's a fucking beast, and he's still a legend, okay?
It's just shit.
Dustin
you can't even have a
fuck
beers
out of Colby right now, too. Facts. Kobe hasn't won a fight in the UFC since Obama was president, right? Like, come the fuck on, kid. Why are you talking? No one's listening. Did you see we're facing the Falcons Monday Night Football basically around the 20-year anniversary of the dome reopening? Oh, that's fucked. I kind of love that. No, I did not see that. And I might have to figure out going to my first Saints game in like a decade and a half. That feels like a pretty good one to be at. Is it going to be at the Dome? Because, man, that'd be dope. I actually haven't been to the Dome since Katrina. So, yeah, with that being said, Kevin Borjas had a hell of a game plan. He came in, he outsmarted the opponent. His opponent got a little bit lackluster after the nut shot. He did get a little bit of extra time from the ref to recover too, which was interesting. I think he got like 5.5 minutes, maybe even 6 full minutes there. Interesting shit. But all that to say, I was very impressed. I thought Kevin Borjas looked better than usual, had the right game plan, and he showed that even if you're, a 10-5 fighter, a 500 fighter by all rights, coming in against a guy that's 11-1, essentially twice your fucking record, as far as prosperity and what the ceiling holds for him, it's still possible for you,
Barely.
you can get it done. You know what I mean? As long as you have the right game plan, the right people behind you. So he did that. I got this one wrong. I'm sad about it. But with that being said, Pip, what do you think should be next for Lima? Or sorry, for Borjas.
For Kevin, yeah, I've only got really one name, and it's a Namanjongurul Tumendemberol. I think that could be a solid fight for Kevin.
Mandembrol. What a fun name. Nano, you got a name on the tip of your tongue?
Solid. I'm thinking of Jose Ochoa, somewhere in that range. Maybe even a Bruno Bulldog Silva. Are the two I got.
Ooh, I actually really, really like you guys' names a lot. There's some solid fire in there. I think for Kevin Borjas, there's a couple of different ways that you can go. It really depends on kind of how far up do you want to move El Gallo Negro. I'll tell you what, though, Rafael Estevam might make a little bit of sense for him. Have they fought before? I don't believe they fought before. Oh, they have not fought before. Yeah, that fight's fun. Rafael Estevam or Jesus Aguilar, I think, are very, very fun fights for him. I have to double check and make sure he hasn't fought him either. I feel like he's fought a handful of good guys already. No, he has not fought him. God, talk about a tough opening fight in the UFC. Jesus Aguilar's debut was against Tatsuro Taira. That sucks.
Brutal.
That sucks. Sean Bullitt is fighting this weekend. Yeah, we're going to do our breakdown on Friday. I have to actually double check with Nano after the show to make sure about that. But I'm flying out tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. to go to Chicago, and then I get back on Thursday night. So hopefully we'll either do something Thursday night or Friday morning. Either way, stay tuned. Shara minus 340. Thank you for the odds so quick there, Rangy. Man, big favorite. I think it's deservingly so. We'll get into it for sure later in the week, but Michelle likes to play silly games. And when you play silly games, you tend to win silly prizes, right, boys? So let's go ahead and jump into another game of play silly games, win silly prizes. Beatrice Mesquita coming in against Melissa Dixon Sider, formerly known, now known as Melissa Mullins. Man, this was a bantamweight banger. Melissa Mullins just tapped the chin a little bit, right? She made it dangerous. She made it dicey. I was sweating a little bit. I had to reapply some deodorant after that fight, boys.
I was on edge. I was
went through that shit. It was an interesting fight. It was a very interesting fight. Like I said, she did go out there and get popped on the fucking chin, got wobbled, looked really dicey. And what's crazy, if you look at the landed strikes, she still landed her opponent 2-1, almost 3-1. It was 13-28 on total strikes. But again, we got to talk about Pip's favorite topic, significant strikes, the ones that matter, right? And if we look at that, it was 10-3 in favor of Mullins. Bia Rousey. My gosh. Absolutely, bro.
That's crazy work. Crazy work, Rangy, but I love
facts, bro. She's so good. She's the lady goat. And she fought attrition. She was chinned up. She was hurt. She was in deep waters. She was doggy paddling to stay afloat. And I tried my damnedest to make a meme of it, but AI was failing me so bad. I wanted to redo the call an ambulance, but not for me. and just have her arm barring the dude that she's talking to in the first panel. In the second one, didn't work out, but it would have been great. It would have been goated as she is, right? With her multiple Guinness Book World Records and multiple time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu national champions. She's just a stud in every way, shape, and form of the word. I can't wait to see what's next for her. I have 2 names on the tip of my tongue, but before I get into those, Nano, were you impressed?
Oh no. Well, I guess impressed with Mesquita's resilience, I suppose, and also with Melissa Mullen's power. But yeah, I mean, there's a glaring gap in the striking pedigree, especially when you compare it to how absolute dominant she is in the jiu-jitsu realm. Oh, shout out Matua, yes. Oh, poke my head. That is Tools of the Times back there. Shout out. It's a good one. It's a fun book to just literally go to a random page and you can learn something new. Don't have to read it in consecutive order. So highly recommended for you casual readers like myself. Yeah, man. I mean, Bia, honestly, brutal. I mean, even though she got the win, that is a tough look. She calls out Eileen Perez. I guess you could give that to her, but shout out Rangy with the Bia Rousey comment. I mean, that's just about where it's at. I think she really needs to take 6 months to a year to work on her striking, and she still can have a solid career here in the UFC. She's still only maybe a few wins away, but if she jumps back in, she's going to get her butt handed to her from a striking perspective. That was yikes. I'm trying to think of some extreme examples. Not full on Ryan Hall, but it's like you almost are going to just really get pigeonholed in this new era of mixed martial arts. You can't have it. Simply can't have it. But yeah, she wants Eileen Perez instead of shaking ass and kicking ass, and so be it. But I don't think it's a good matchup for her, to be honest. And after this, I don't know who it is anymore.
Couldn't agree with you more. Pip, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, Pip.
Yeah, I mean, definitely round 1 submission as predicted. But I mean, what definitely wasn't predicted was the shot that got through from Mullins. And I mean, you guys have already summed it up. I mean, nasty left hook, that's what got her. But you just see how high level her jiu-jitsu is. But her striking definitely needs a lot of work. But I will say, I mean, she did better on the feet compared to what we've seen in previous fights. I mean, no, she hasn't got as rocked as bad. But I mean, she's more of a plotty fighter. And on this one, she had a little bit of bounce to her feet. I mean, she was, her punches were a little straighter, but yeah, her chin was way up in the air, and that definitely needs to be addressed. So she got a little reckless in the pocket, and she got clipped by a big left hook. But we also had another problems with Mullins. I mean, she followed her to the ground, and I get it. I mean, she's a black belt herself, but not a 10-time gold medalist black belt. It's just a different level there. I mean, Bia got the rubber guard. As soon as Mullins threw up that elbow, she threw her legs up, and as predicted from you on Colin, to the T, armbar submission, and that's what she got. I mean, she definitely needs to work on her striking. But I feel like after that, she kind of has that Charles Oliveira effect after a win like that, because yeah, she got hurt. She could take her back. She could pull guard. I'm not going to go to the ground with her. I'd let her get back up to her feet. But with doing that, you give her, an extra 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or you could be dumb enough, like former Dixon, and take the ground with her and then get your arm snapped off. I mean, I think honestly, Bia, she's young. She's her BJJ is just out of this world. It is wild. And even when she was rocked, she was able to pull off a slick submission like that from her back. She didn't even have to do it from top mount or half guard or whatever it is. She was off of her back and still able to pull it off. So if she can just tune up that striking, I think she has every possibility to be a future contender one day. I mean, especially that top of the ranking, or hell, even a champion. I'm not going to lie to you. If she can just tune up her few flaws on the feet, I mean, she could present a real problem for these girls.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If she can just keep her hands here instead of here or here. And I get it. Like, she's got a grappling background. Like, her chin is up here. Her arms are down here. She's literally trying to keep her neck up and elevated and keep her hands down to defend the takedown. This ain't that, lady. Like, you got to keep your hands up and your chin down. It's the opposite here in MMA. Otherwise, you are going to eat the shots, right? But hey, if she wants, Eileen Perez, I don't think that's necessarily the best thing that she could do for herself by any means. She wouldn't be doing herself any huge favors here, because I genuinely think, like, I've jokingly called Eileen Perez Shrek before. If they step into the octagon together, she's gonna say, "What are you doing in my swamp?" You know what I'm saying, brother? It's not gonna go good. It's not gonna go good for our lady, Bia Mesquita. Okay. Yeah.
That was brutal.
I'm terrible.
Your words, not mine.
Oh man, I am the worst. No, it's all in good fun. I actually love Eileen Perez. I think she's fantastic. When was the last time there was an armbar from guard? That's a great question. Probably Ronda Rousey. Possibly. They should have never given y'all AI. Definitely not me. Definitely not me. My God. I mean, definitely not me. All right, what should be next for her? It sounds like none of us really think that she should be facing Eileen Perez next, right? But what is ideal, Nano? Like, who do you think would be a good litmus test for?
I mean, honestly, outside of Eileen, oof. Let me pull up the list again. Because honestly, I was okay with it just because maybe she needs to get a little bit of humble pie. But outside of that, as I stall for a little time. Yeah, I mean, are we thinking... Oh, I mean, like a Chelsea Chandler, potentially. I mean, she's just coming off a win as well recently. And I kind of like when two fighters are both coming off recent victories or have both fought recently. They're both going to need maybe a similar time off. But Chelsea Chandler is a name that, again, coming off a big win, she'd say yes to a big opportunity, someone that pulls the weight of Bia Mesquita. And I think she has some decent jiu-jitsu chops working with Nate Diaz and those 209 gang out there. But then again, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to necessarily really compete if it were just true jiu-jitsu one-on-one with the Bia. So that may just be a moot point. But give me double C. Give me Chelsea Chandler as an alternative.
I'm not mad at that, bro. The Chelsea Chandler shot is really sick, and that's one that I, to be completely honest with you, did not have on my list. I had Macy Chasson coming off 3 back-to-back decision losses across 2025 and 2026, and Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who's also coming off of a decision loss. I think those make a lot of sense. I think they'd be a good litmus test for her. They're also both younger girls that, I mean, like Macy Chasson's a little bit of a UFC veteran at this point. Jacqueline Cavalcanti still very green, still very, very, very fresh in the UFC, and they'd be a good matchup for each other to see kind of where they stand. But the Chelsea Chandler match, someone coming off a win that sits kind of right above her in that trajectory, I think that does make a lot of sense too, Nano. Speaking facts, bro, as usual. Pip, what are you thinking, brother? Hit us with the keys.
Yeah, I like the Macy shot as well. I'd say Irene Aldana is one fight that I think that she could do, just because I feel like Irene does present more of that striking issue, and that's kind of something that she could develop, before maybe she gets that Perez fight.
Irene has been inactive for 21 months, though.
Has she really?
Shout out to Tapology for the new update. As long as you make a login, you can look at all of the standings that they have from their community picks, and they've updated them with an activity rating between 1 and 100 to show you how active they are, as well as a when they last fought and how inactive they are if they're severely inactive like that. So yeah, for her, they literally have a little like stamp that says inactive for 21 months.
I can't believe it's been that long. But the other name, the name that I like the most, honestly, and call this lazy matchmaking, but I think both these girls are kind of coming off shaky wins, and it's a girl we're going to talk about later tonight, but Luana Santos. I think both of those girls could run it, and I think that could be an interesting match.
Oh, man.
I like it.
I do like that. Both of them are on a 3-fight win streak, too. Fuck, I don't like that for Luana, though. But at the same time, I love it for Luana, because if she wins, that's a big win, bro. Over a noteworthy name.
And I'm hyped on
I like
Bia
that Aldana,
Mesquita.
if they can get her off the couch. Yeah, I agree. Like, Aldana's a fun fighter. I actually met her at Secret Pizza in Vegas while this guy was meeting Philly, like he referred to earlier. He's like, would you hate me if I went into this club? Because I was wearing a tank top and shorts and they wouldn't let me in the club. I was like, do your thing, bro. I'm going to go get a slice of pizza. Ended up right behind the whole Diego Lopez fight team, and Irene Aldana happens to be there with him. So I'm like, oh my God, can I get a picture with you? She was very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, come to Vegas with us next year for International Fight Week. We'll be there. We hope you are too. Yeah, I'm happy with all those names. What I'm not happy with is the fact that I got not one, but two favorites back to back wrong in these next two fights. God damn. We had a flyweight bout between Luana Santos and Mitch Raposo. And Mitch Raposo, oh no. Man, he looked much better than I thought he was going to. I literally said for Luana Santos, if it gets dicey on the feet, which is the only place Mitch holds a candle to him, he's always got the takedowns, right? Doesn't he? But he didn't. He didn't actually always have the takedowns. He attempted 4 of them. They weren't there. He knocked. Nobody came to the door. The doorbell was broken. It was tough. It was tough. I got this one wrong. Who did I let go first last time? Was it Nano? Pip? Whose turn is it?
Am I up? I don't care.
Go Pip. Go for it.
Pip, let's fucking hear it, bro.
This was one that I'm kind of worried to talk about because I had some bad juju on the last stream. I actually could not give my fucking prediction show. What I was trying to say was pretty accurate to what I was trying to go. I thought Mitch was actually going to get the win by split decision. I thought it was going to be a fairly competitive fight. And Mitch looked good early. I mean, he showed a clear speed advantage. He was able to just kind of circle and move out, then just blitz forward, landed a few hard shots, and then just backed immediately out, back to range. But he was able to kind of cut Allen under the eye. Allen spent a lot of time chasing. Eventually, Nascimento was able to start cutting off Raposo a little bit. He started looking better in the second round, but again, couldn't get those takedowns. And it seemed like if he couldn't get those mixed in, he was getting a little hesitant. And Raposo was just kind of falling ahead, really. It really just felt like Allen wasn't able to catch up. I mean, by the third round, Allen started, taking more chances. He got in the face of Mitch, and he was circling out with the hands down, and Mitch got hit with a clean right hook, actually, at the end of that round. Allen chased him to the ground. He was looking for ground and pound, looking for submissions, and Mitch just kind of stayed defensive, not really allowing him to, proceed position, land any ground and pound, just wasn't allowing him to get any work done. But yeah, ended up being the split decision. I think it went to the right person here. I definitely think it was 28 for Mitch. Definitely a good win to kind of get in the rankings there. But Nana, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a good win for Mitch Raposo. Split decision win. I mean, the striking differential was literally the same in both rounds, 1 and 2. And Allen was able to stuff all 11 attempts for Mitch Raposo. I mean, you can make a case. And he was more of the aggressor in that third round, which would be my equalizer if I were a judge, throwing scorecards and strikes and all that aside. I mean, I thought, honestly, Allen might have did enough. Maybe I need to rewatch it again. It was a split decision, so one of the judges agreed, but I guess 2 others disagreed. Like you said, maybe it was just some of the velocity, maybe some of the significant punches was a differentiator, or I guess Mitch edged out those first 2 and won 2-1. I guess that's probably what the scorecards would suggest, but MMAnomaly looks like you have some agreements there, or at least we both lean on one side of the spectrum here. What did you see, and what did I miss here in terms of the breakdown?
Yeah, I told myself I was going to do one more shot. I couldn't decide whether it was going to be for this fight or the next one because I got both of them wrong, and I didn't get any wrong after that. So you know what? I'm going to pour it up for this because I hate to have this conversation, but I'm going to do a shot to get through it again. We talk about this very often. MMA judging has a vast problem, right? And Pip, me and you actually we hashed it out a little bit earlier about how significant strikes. What is a significant strike? How do we dictate what a significant strike is? And cheers, folks. I'll keep the cheers short, right? Boom. Cheers to you. Appreciate you. So let me say,
salute.
With severity, we've already talked about this, right, Pip? If I kick you in the leg as hard as I can, or I kick you in the body as hard as I can, maybe you punch me in the face 50%. You're not trying to hit me with 50%, but that's what lands with, right? What do you think the judges are going to say was more significant? Your face shot, right?
So they're most likely leaning towards headshots.
Right. So let's just, from a data standpoint, let's just break down the striking differential here. So total strikes, 98 to 54 in favor of Luana Santos. Significant strikes, 58 to 38 in favor of Luana Santos. I know what you're thinking in the chat, but MMAnomaly, we don't judge fights by total scores. We judge them per round by round basis, 10-9-8 or a 10-9 must scoring system, right? With room for 10-8 rounds. Now, with that being known and said, let's jump through it by round. 15 to 17 in terms of total strikes, 14 to 15 in terms of significant strikes. Mitch Raposo, round 1. You get no argument from me. Mitch won that round. We could look at the control time, 24 seconds to 14 seconds in favor of Alon Nascimento. 10 seconds of control time does not outwork an additional few strikes, right? I think we can agree with that. Moving on. That's one round for Mitch, none for Alon. Round 2, 2019, significant strikes. 20-20, total strikes. In that case, it's even on total strikes. We go to significant strikes. Who won that round? Alon Nascimento. He won by 1 strike. It's pretty close. Let's look at control time. 26 seconds to 12 seconds. Again, Alon Nascimento. We're 1-1 going into round 3. I think that's fair to say. I think a lot of people probably, if they scored a round for Alon and they didn't give him the fight, probably round 2 or 3. It's debatable. Round 3. This is where it gets kind of dicey, boys. 63-17 total strikes. 24-4 significant strikes. Alon Nascimento. Control time, 3 minutes, 31 seconds to 21 seconds. That is a clear-cut Alon Nascimento round. If 2 is the toss-up, right, and we really want to dissect this, you got to ask yourself, were the significant strikes actually that close? Right? Or was Mitch simply landing more to the head? Again, if you look at the total stats for this, Mitch Raposo landed 0% of his total strikes to the legs, 23% to the body, and 76% of his total strikes to the head. That tells me that 76% of his total strikes were probably considered significant, right? You know what? Oh my God, I'm actually going to blow my own mind here. 54 divided by 38. Let's see what that is. If it is around that, I swear to fucking God, bro. 70%. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you out of your mind, UFC judging? I hate that that was that accurate. Come on. Like, what are we doing here, bro? You're judging almost every head strike as a significant strike. And then if you look on the opposing side, 15% to the leg, 36% to the body, 48% to the head for Alon Nascimento. You're telling me the body work that we were seeing in round 2 was not significant? Shut the fuck up, pack your bags, and quit your job if you're a judge. If that's your standpoint, you suck at your job. I'm here to tell you. So I think they got this one wrong. I think as we've said again and again on this episode alone, significant strikes are subjective. It is all cosmetic. It is what person A, person B, and person C in the judges booth see as significant. Half these UFC judges don't know fuck. They don't know shit about fuck, bro. It's a fact. Ray G said, I had Raposo all week till weigh-in. Nas finally comes in on weight and shape, and I flipped and screwed me. Bro, but you got it right. I know you maybe lost money on it, but I'm here to tell you, like, do a shot with me, bro. Like, you got it right. Okay, kid? The judges got it wrong. Nascimento did not screw you. The judges did, just like they screwed him. Man got half a paycheck. Imagine how he feels, especially knowing he went out there and did what he needed to do. That's fucking tough. With all that being said, it was a stellar performance from Mitch Raposo. He performed highly above his typical threshold. He actually looked like a UFC fighter instead of a tough fighter, if that makes sense, for the first time in the UFC octagon. I'm here for it. I like his attitude. I like his personality. I'm not here to shit on Mitch. I'm here to shit on the judges. Okay, folks, don't get it twisted. So with that being said, what should be next for a young and up-and-coming Mitch Raposo in the flyweight division? Pip, you took the lead on this one for the breakdown. Let me hear how you're feeling about what's next for him.
Yeah, I've got 2 names for Mitch Raposo. One would be Tagir Ulanbekov. I think that could be a fun scrap. But even another one, if we're kind of going a little bit higher up the rankings, I mean, Charles Johnson, I think could also be a really fun scrap. So I think that's probably my favorite match out of the 2. But what do you boys got?
No.
I'm just going with someone I want to see again. I'll hop in real quick here, MMAnomaly. I'm going with Bopo. I'm going with Joseph Morales. Someone we saw in The Ultimate Fighter. Someone we've grown to love. On 3 submission wins back-to-back. A couple in 2025. One against our boy Matt Schinelli. Ranked 22 currently. Though I'd give Mitch Raposo a crack at Bopo. I like that one. Raposo versus Bopo. MMAnomaly we got.
I actually really like Raposo versus Bopo. They weren't on the same team either, right? Like, Could be fun. Like they're both tough alums. They're from different seasons. They don't know each other. This feels like it could be a really fun matchup. I'm not mad at that pick at all. For me, he just beat Alon Nascimento, who is ranked above Bopo on Topology ranking. So I'd like to see him get a little bit higher of a picking here. Jafel Fialho, Pastor, he's coming off a decision loss, and he's a fucking stud. I think he'd be a lot of fun. And someone we talk about very often, he's like the Matt Schnell of the division, if you will, even though Matt's in the same division. Hear me out here. The difference between this guy and Matt Schnell is you fight this guy, you're top 15. You beat Matt Schnell, you get a title shot. I'm talking about a Tim Elliott. He signs yes on the dotted line every single time. It's like he's in second grade and he's getting a fucking little Valentine's Day card. Check yes if you like me from his crush. Every single time he's like, yes, I'm down.
I like that fight for Tim. I'll tell you that.
I think it's a fun fight. And tell me Tim Elliott versus Mitch Raposo would not be fun as fuck. You got a wily boxer versus just a wily dude. Like when we worked at Yelp, I used to send this dude a GIF that I found of Tim Elliott doing like a fucking barrel roll in the middle of a fight and then coming out of that barrel roll and throwing 3 back-to-back flying knees. He's the weirdest fighter in the world, and I love it for him and for us. Give me that fight all fucking day.
Facts.
All right, folks, let's move into the next fight, the final fight I was wrong about. We had Gaston Bolanos versus Michael Aswell, and man, I might as well have not bet on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because Bolanos, he took the rhythm of the fight over. Bolanos, he won the fight by decision. It was a fantastic fight for him. He looked really good. He battled through attrition. Another fight in which you could look at the judges' scorecards and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you a pass here. Could have gone the other way, though. Could have gone the other way. If you look at the total strikes, 115 to 94. If you look at the significant strikes, it's 105 to 87. Both in favor of Mr. Michael Aswell. However, unlike the last fight we spoke about, boys, this one's a little bit different because there was a little bit of a grappling differential, if you will, right? You had Gaston Bolanos actually coming out there and getting a takedown, right? He got 1 out of his 2 takedowns compared to the 0 for 3 of Michael Aswell. Now, the reason that I still feel this could have gone the other way when the judges' scorecards is this. If I take you down, Pip, and you don't take me down, and you tried 3 times, but when I do take you down in the final round, you actually turn me around and get significantly more control time than me, even when I got my takedown the round prior. Come on. You're talking about 1 minute and 5 of control time to 22 seconds of control time when he did land a takedown. That's tough. But again, I get it, because if we actually look at the strikes here, it was very close. And the rounds that Gaston won, it's tough if you break it down by round, Pip. Because again, like Gaston did outland him in the one round that I thought he significantly won, was round 2. That was also his most controlling round with 22 seconds. But in rounds 1, he got outlanded 47 to 29. And in round 2, he got outlanded 28 to 22 in terms of significant strikes. I'm curious, before I pass it to you boys, Nano, I'll come to you first. Do you think the judges got this one right? Or do you think they were just having a rough patch for these 2 fights?
It might have been a rough patch, man. Or I'd love to maybe hear a little bit more about how they were breaking it down, but I felt kind of similar. I thought, and maybe it's one of those things where maybe just Michael Aswell just a little bit more busy work. Like I didn't think a lot of those were significant, but that goes back to the whole spiel we had about significant strikes. Like he did outland, but he was less efficient. So maybe they're looking at efficiency, in which case, sure, I can potentially get behind that, right? You don't necessarily want to just reward the busier fighter, but I think Gaston is the better man, and he got the nod. So numbers aside, just a good reminder that maybe that's not always the most indicative. The the best indicator. Let me rephrase, because if that were the case, then we wouldn't need judges at all. It would just be who scored the most literal points if that were the game we're playing. But it's not. It is up to their opinions, and that's what we got.
No, I like actually that you pointed that out, because if you look at the stats from an efficiency perspective, and you know me, big data guy, big stat guy, 43.1% accuracy in total strikes to 46.5, 41.7% accuracy in significant strikes to 45.1, and 0% accuracy to 50% accuracy when it comes to takedowns, all in favor of the winner, Gaston Bolanos. If you point it out like that, and I mean, I guess welcome to boxing.
Unfortunately,
but if that's a part of the scoring criteria, then again, in a fight this close, that alleviates my pressure to the judges to an extent. Pip, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight, but I'll tell you what, I thought it was also a fun fight. I mean, I'll be looking forward to Gaston if he brings more fights like the one that we saw on Saturday night. I mean, looking at the fight, I mean, Aswell immediately came out pushing the pressure. He was backing up Gaston. That right straight was money every time it landed, but Gaston made good adjustments with the leg and the body kicks. It really wore on Aswell, and I thought visibly he looked slower at the end of the first. He even looked like he got rocked at the end of the first round, which I thought kind of stole Gaston the round at the end of that first one. In the second, I thought Gaston kind of just started taking over. He was mixing in the takedowns, bringing the kicks up high, really just started improving the activity and gave more resistance when Aswell was pushing back. But going into the third round, yeah, it was Aswell all day. He started bringing the pressure, slipping the shots, landing good left hooks and straights, and it just made for a very competitive fight. And it did become very hard to score. I do agree with the decision. It was a hard-fought victory for Gaston. And if he keeps fighting like this, I'll be paying attention. But I really thought Gaston edged that first round with the big shot they landed at the end of it. The second round I thought was more Gaston all day, and then Aswell really took over in that third round. But I think this fight really comes down to the first round, in my opinion. But I thought Gaston just did enough for the damage-wise to edge it.
Absolutely. Again, especially after Nano pointed out the efficiency of striking and efficiency of overall mixed martial arts, that makes a lot of sense. Gaston was the more efficient fighter, top to bottom, bottom to top. The fun didn't stop. He was out there having a great time from start to finish, and he made it look fucking good. So I'm not mad at it. I'm definitely more in tune with this decision than the one we talked about previously. All that to say, what the fuck is next for this guy, right? I think there's a couple of pretty solid options. I think the three most viable options for me are probably Muhammad Hillman Naimov, Jordan the Monkey King Levitt, and last but certainly not least is Nate the Train Landwehr. I mean, come on, bro. Gaston Bolanos versus Nate the Train. Sign me up. Take my money. What do you think, Nano?
I actually like that one a lot. Mine was Jamal Emmers, but I'll just take some Nate the Train anytime. We can get him in the octagon. So I think you can't go wrong either direction. I think that's the right caliber of opponent next for the Elite Taporia Timu version here in Gaston. Gaston Bolanos, sorry. Lost my train of thought there.
That boy,
Hey, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I mean, for the Ilya that we have at home, I mean, I think Jack Jenkins is a good one, or even John Casadena are good shouts.
I like both of those. I like the John Castaneda fight for sure. I think that's a fun fight, bro. I think it's a very, very fun fight. And no, I'm just saying again, not because I want to give you any tips. Not that you need them. You're probably gonna end up winning this fucking season. Make a Tapology account if you haven't already. They're free, and they just added a lot of really cool stats that are gonna help you in fantasy this season.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Oh man, just doing it here in the chat. Shout out to Just Doing It. We're gonna hit this guy with the fucking air horns because he is a legend. Just leaving banger after banger in the chat here. We need AI judging in MMA with how inconsistent the scoring is right now. I agree. Look, I work in corporate sales and marketing. I tell my clients all the time when a new tool comes out or I'm pitching something new to them, at the very least, it makes sense for us as a brand to do this as a test and learn situation. You test it for 1 quarter, you run it for 3 months, and you see if people bitch less about the judging. If they don't bitch less about the judging, guess what, guys? Those same homies we used to pay to do this, they're going to be like, yeah, I'll get paid. That's it. I'm there. Put my ass in a seat. If it works, maybe we pay the fighters more because we're saving money on 3 bodies a week in the judging booth, at least. It sounds crazy, but other major sports are starting to utilize AI and referee in the game. Why not MMA? Make it fair. I don't think we have line judges in tennis in 10 years from now. I completely agree, bro. In tennis and karate, I think in karate and like Olympic sports for striking and martial arts, judo, karate, I think they're going to delete judging very fucking quickly. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, I made that joke earlier, Pip, when you were doing your breakdown, that there was a karate clicker off to the side. They do that still. For traditional Muay Thai bouts and karate bouts and Taekwondo bouts, they have a homie on the side with a red clicker and a blue clicker. And every time red corner lands a strike, he clicks. Every time blue corner lands a strike, he clicks. And at the end of the night, they register how many times he clicked with his thumb, and that's the baseline.
Yeah, the only thing I feel so weird
crazy.
about with like AI judging is how weird the AI like score system has been. But I don't know too much about AI judging. I can't really give a full opinion on it, but it just feels weird to me. It's like AI driving trucks. It just feels weird to me.
Can I play devil's avocado here for a sec?
Please,
maybe the AI ranking that we got that's a piece of shit is going off of how they would have scored fights that were misscored.
Maybe they're already just replicating what we're doing
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because if it's going off total strikes landed per fight, total takedowns landed per fight versus winning a fight, some of those rankings actually make sense from a like statistician standpoint versus wins, losses, where they sit.
Yeah.
And to Nano's point earlier, like efficiency of fighting, who's the more efficient guy in there? And as we know, MMA math does not fucking work, right?
No.
Charles
We just saw it with Freedom 250.
Like Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. You throw all those guys in there and like some of them beat each other, but it's not a linear fucking system at all. The math does not check. It does not check out, that math. What does check out though, Pip and Nano, is a welterweight bout between Leon Shabazian and Levan Chokheli, which I said it last week. I'll make the bad joke again, just in case you guys haven't heard it. Look, if your name is Chokheli, you only really have one path in life. You got to be a fighter. You know what I mean? Like you gotta choke motherfuckers hella hard until they're asleep, and that's exactly kind of what he does out there, right? But this time he choked him with a punch, right? He choked him up. No, I'm gonna jump into Pip on this one first. How did you feel about the little Shabazian coming in there and just, man, getting wrung?
He definitely got put to sleep, and I will say I'm happy that your breakdown last week was so good, I changed my pick. So, we got it right. The show got it right. I'm just saying. But there's not much to break down, honestly. I mean, it was like 8 or 9 shots that put Shabazian out. He landed that first leg kick, and it looked like it did an insane amount of damage, or just kind of 6 shots. Perfect. So I overcounted. I gave him a little credit, but no, I mean, Shabazian is ass. I said that last week too, where it's like every time that he gets put in these bigger spots, like against who was it? Ryan Loder, Phil Hawes, like he just comes up so short. But
as somebody who was backing Ryan Loder out of the tough season, losing to Ryan Loder in the UFC is tough.
Dude, it's just not a good look for Shabazi. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it was an existing injury that he already had and he kind of just re-aggravated something, but that leg kick was not, it was nasty. The second one landed and he was hurting bad, and it was just killer instinct from Levan. He came out there and just beat him up against the fence, folded him with the body shots, and that was really all she wanted. I mean, there's not much to break down. I mean, I think he just imposed his will, and it took, I think this stat is right, but I think it took 23 seconds for 6 shots. So kind of crazy. But Nano, what did you think on this one?
Yeah, I felt like this guy Chokheli, what the hell? This guy is absolutely a dog. This Georgian, another dude just coming out of nowhere with some absolute power, sharp. I mean, everything he threw just was so purposeful, so fundamentally sound. No wasted movements, 6 punches. I mean, I've already talked longer than the fight went. I mean, this was an absolute banger. Dude's a problem. I'm excited to see what's next for him, but I think you certainly got to take this and run with it, because that was an exciting performance on a night that didn't necessarily have a ton of other holy shit moments besides the twister, of course. But yeah, this was a coming out party for Levan Chokheli. What the hell was that? Is probably what his opponent Shabazian was saying. MMAnomaly, what stood out to you, brother? Anything specifically?
Oh man, I mean, in this fight, I think you guys took a lot of meat off the bone. There wasn't a whole lot to take off. It was a whopping 23 seconds. We spent fucking tenfold that talking about it already, I think. So I'll keep it short and sweet. Edmund Shabazian should probably become a line cook or something. Like MMA is probably not the thing for you. Look, I talked about this earlier with the Saints. I'm a Saints fan. We had Aaron Brooks. We called him Aaron Choke Brooks every game I went to, right? And his cousin was one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks we had seen until he got in trouble for fighting pit bulls. So look, sometimes one dude in the family just happens to get all the talent when it comes to a specific sport. I think that's the case here. I think Edmund got it. I think he sapped it all dry for the MMA well. And maybe go to boxing, but after that performance, probably not. As I said, it took 6 fucking strikes. He only attempted 11. Nano, you want to talk about accuracy? Nano? 54.5% clip to a 0% clip. Yeah, he was 0 for 1 on strikes with Shabazian. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Just Doing It said AI is self-learning. It will collect data over time and learn how to judge fights from data. I don't think we need to worry too much about teaching AI how to judge, and AI won't be biased. I agree with that tenfold. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So yeah, I mean, I just genuinely think that we need to start adapting with AI more often than not. And Shabazian should start game planning more often than not, because this was a tough one for him against Chokheli. But the real question is, Pip, Nano, what should be next? Nano, what do you think should be next for Chokheli in this fight?
I'm going with a Chuck Buffalo. I like Charles Radke. I think that's somebody that, on paper, both these guys are going to go out there and want to knock each other's heads off. So Rock'em Sock'em Robots all the way. I love the stylistic matchup, and that's kind of the name, or at least ranking kind of zone I'm willing to go. Don't want to skyrocket them too high yet, but give me Chuck Buffalo on this one. Pitt, anyone coming to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I like Chuck Buffalo, Radke. I think that's a solid shout there. Levan versus I think Carlston Harris could be a fun shout. Even Ramiz Brahimaj. I think both those could be good fights. But Uncle, who you got?
Man, I like you guys' names a lot. I definitely like those names. As far as for what's next for Chokheli, there's a number of different ways you can go. It really depends on kind of how high up you want to pole vault him after a win like this. He's currently sitting as number 63 in the Tapology rankings. I'd like to see him fight somebody that's a little bit less tested, like a Basil Hafez in the UFC welterweight division. I think that makes a lot of sense. Another guy that we haven't seen in there in a while that makes a lot of sense is Jack the Joker Hermanson, right? Coming off 2 back-to-back TKO losses. That's a name we haven't heard in quite some time, but I think makes a lot of sense. And then if we want to go a little bit higher than that, I mean, Chris the Action Man Curtis is right for the picking, isn't he, boys?
Ooh, that is a fun name.
God, that just feels like a big jump, but that is a firework fight.
It does feel like, I literally said, if we want to go for a big jump, bro.
You did warn me.
I prefaced.
It was bigger than I expected.
I mean, like, Chris Curtis is not ranked super high. He's ranked fucking 44.
He's not, but could he just call out Sean after he gets that dub?
I mean, he could. I mean, anybody can. It's like Matt Schnell's situation there. But I mean, that's 63 to 40, not bad, considering 63 didn't exist in the rankings yesterday.
Yeah, true.
He came from nothing to 63. They have like 150 in the welterweight rankings on Tapology right now. And he's 63. The fans think highly of him. I feel like we're fans. We should also think pretty highly of him. That was a pretty good performance.
That's true. It was a damn good performance.
23 fucking seconds. Oh, man. Speaking of good performances, can we talk about Carl Hossa and Luana Santos? I mean, Luana Santos, my goodness gracious me. And I had the pleasure of meeting her last year at International Fight Week, and she was just an absolute doll. Just a nice lady through and through. This, though, was a stunning performance. It was obviously, a strike differential here, 110 to 126 in favor of Carl Rosa. Nano, again, you want to talk about efficiency? These ladies, brother. These ladies were a fucking sniper. Like 85.7% accuracy for total strikes for Carl Rosa. She lost the fight. Let's talk about the winner. 91.7% on her strikes. That means out of every 100 strikes she throws, almost 92 of them are hitting you efficiently. That's tough. And then you want to talk about efficiency of significant strikes. This is where we have a discrepancy, boys. See, when Carl Rosa loads up, that's when she missed, right? She had 126 out of 147 total strikes, right? She missed what is that? A little over 20 strikes by my knowledge in totality. Yeah, significant strikes, 7 out of 26. I would tell you those are the almost 20 she missed, the one she was loading up on, right? And then if you look across from her, 9 out of 11, which is an exact depiction of the fight. 9-1-1, which is what Carl Rosa needed to call during that fight. 9 out of 11 total significant strikes landed for Luana Santos, which is not a ton, not a high discrepancy there, but 81%. She also landed 2 out of 10 takedowns. 10 takedowns attempted in a 15-minute fight by a small woman, 135 pounds. That's a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of effort. And the fact that she was negated on 8 of those, but still kept shooting until she got those 2, nasty work. I think she is a fucking problem. I'd rather see her versus Eileen Perez or something like that to that 10. But before we get into it, Pip, tell me how you feel, bro.
Oh, man, I feel like, I mean, no disrespect in the same sense either, but I feel like we watched 2 different fights. If I had to sum this up in one word, it would be lackluster. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, I feel like we saw it from the first round.
I only glazed it because of who it's against, Pip.
Yeah,
Carl Rosa's a fucking vet.
That is fair. And this was one of my dog picks of the week. Luana Santos was a girl that I was rocking with here. But I mean, I feel like Rosa was just kind of, trying to pressure, and Santos was more desperately trying to get those takedowns. As you said, she only landed 2 of 10 shots attempted. But with that being said, I mean, we even saw some low IQ moments as well. Because I mean, unfortunately for Rosa, she fell as she threw a kick, and Santos capitalized on that. That ended up being the whole second round. I mean, she basically got 5 minutes of control time after, Rosa had got her against the fence, getting ready to start landing some shots, and then slipped on a kick. It was just a detrimental mistake from Rosa. I just did not think she looked good. I mean, round 3, we just kind of saw more of the same, really, where it was just control against the cage from Santos, eventually getting that body lock, took Rosa's back, and Rosa just stayed defensive throughout the whole fight. I mean, Santos won the fight just based on control, I thought, really. But I mean, it was a fairly dominant decision for Luana Santos. But like I said, if I had to sum it up in one word, it was lackluster, to say the least. But Nano, what'd you think? Am I crazy? Did you see something that I didn't? Or are you right there with me?
I guess I'm probably somewhere in the middle of you two. I'll be the equalizer. I'm not going to take sides. I'm going to stick right here, dead center at the equator, and say, I guess you always want more, right? I think even though it's early on this prelim, Luana Santos is someone that, in my book, I have a lot of respect for. Same with her opponent, Carol Rosa. So I think you want to see more punches. Granted, I guess they both had over 100. So busy work, not necessarily the most exciting fight, to your point. Maybe coming off a really big UFC Freedom card where they're all knockouts. I think we're maybe just wanting to see a little bit more definitive actions from one of these fighters, but both had some moments, and ultimately, like I said, it was a control time that probably gave Luana Santos the nod. I have the Meta UFC rankings up currently, and they have Luana sitting in the 3 spot currently. If I go to the media panel rankings, they have her closer to 11. I don't know if that's updated yet, because I think they typically do it on Tuesdays.
Those were updated today. They just launched the AI ratings today.
It's a little rich for my blood, I think, especially after a performance like that. I think we would maybe want to wait a finish more than I don't know. But either way, we're getting used to it. So maybe they saw something I didn't, but Luana showed to be a new bantamweight kind of contender with some asterisks around it. Because we want to see a little bit more, but she's in the conversation now. She's entered the chat. W's in the chat.
So Nano, you said that she's number 3 in the AI rankings and she's 11 at the media rankings.
Correct.
I think both of those are incorrect. I think realistically, UFC should just integrate and start paying Tapology to do their rankings with the community picks. They're far more accurate. Like number 8, I think makes a lot of sense. She's up 2 spots. She just passed up Carl Hosa and Jacqueline Cavalcante. I think that's exactly accurate for what she did. As Pip alluded to, it wasn't a world-breaking performance. It wasn't anything that's going to make you go watch it again. Pip, I'm not going to go watch the fight again, okay? I'm not that much of a degenerate MMA fan.
Sucked.
But it was impressive because of who she did it to, okay? And if you want to, like, the reason you asked me about my gymnastics score on UFC Freedom 250. I told you 8.5, right? The reason being because I've given worse cards a 9. I can't go back on my word. So with that being said, if we're comparing and contrasting her performance, right? She landed 110 strikes to 126. Eileen Perez, the girl she called out, landed 81, or the girl I'm saying she should fight, landed 81 to 120 over the same opponent. All right, let's talk about significant strikes. 9 to 7. Granted, she landed a little bit more at 62, but it was also a lot closer with her opponent landing 53. Right? And then if we look at the takedowns, that's the one factor she did better in. 2 for 8. But fun fact, she still was only able to get 2. I'd like to see what happens when those girls fight each other. Give me Eileen Perez. I want Shrek to welcome her to that fucking swamp, brother. That's what I want.
I like it.
I like that fight for Perez.
We'll take it.
I honestly don't know who I'd favor. But I can tell you, no matter what, whoever loses, the paychecks from the OnlyFans are going to cover the losses. It's fine. They're both on there.
They'll do a collab. It'll be good.
They'll do a collab. I love that. And if they don't collab with each other, they'll collab with Paige Van Zant. Everyone seems to be doing it. All the cool kids. Holy shit.
Oh, geez. We're in the second hour.
Oh, man. We are.
It's a little dicey at this stage.
We're in home stretch, folks. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you do so before we put our foot in our mouth. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. And let's jump into this last fight. It is a featherweight bout between Shane Hollywood Collins coming in against Otari Tanzilovi. What a fun name. My goodness gracious me. Oh, man. Nano, I'm going to jump to you on the lead on this one. What were your thoughts on Hollywood Shane Collins? I mean, I was impressed. Were you?
He showed a lot of resilience. Yeah, I think, going in here stylistically, obviously the striking was his bread and butter. He came in and able to land 111 punches out of 175. Not as accurate. That's been our running theme for today, but did also outland his opponents with the significant strikes. On top of attempting some takedowns, I think he tried to display everything he could as if he were on that Hollywood stage. But Otari was out there not playing any games like his name would suggest, the OG, if you know. But he was able to land 5 out of 9 takedowns, being Otari Tanzilovi. So it was close, in terms of being competitive, I should say. It was a competitive fight, but I think the striking was really the differentiator here. And though, good on Shane Collins for trying to attempt some of those takedowns, you're not going to out wrestle the wrestler. Still needs some sharpening to do in that realm, but a dub's a dub. We'll get it done. Pip, what'd you see, brother?
I was fairly impressed with Shane Collins, especially making his debut here. I thought it was a really fun scrap to start the card off and end the show with. Shane won a hard-fought decision, standing undefeated, but showed a good set of skills. Shane, he pushed a lot of pressure to a kind of box in the pocket, and Otari kind of blasted Shane with the kicks and looked for the takedowns, but the pressure of Shane is really what caused issues for Otari here. He was fighting on the back foot, so it made the takedowns less effective. It took a lot of pop off those kicks, and Shane could get a little bit hesitant. And we saw this a few times where he would kind of get in range and not throw. And you see Otari just kind of engage in the clinch and land those knees to the body. I'd say that's one thing that he can kind of work on a little bit. Is if he creates those openings, go for it, engage. Because when you did, you were landing. And Otari did. He was able to mix in a few of the takedowns, but he just couldn't get much with them. I mean, Shane was able to fight the hands. He was able to kind of walk back to the fence and get back up. And he did it multiple times. And then just the work from the pocket continued, and Shane was able to just rip hooks to the body, land uppercuts through the guard, attack the legs. It just had Otari slowing down in the second round. Stuff the takedowns, even almost got that Darce choke at the end of the second round there. And that's really what this fight became. And once Shane was able to get in range and shut down the kicks from Otari, it just became Shane defending relentless takedowns from Otari. And Shane would just kind of work his way to the cage, fight the hands, or use submissions to get back to his feet. He stayed hunting for that guillotine. That was a big theme that helped him get back to his feet a lot of the times. But again, just constant pressure and pushing Otari against the cage, just outboxing him. He kind of gave me a little bit of a JDM feeling behind him, just with his style. I mean, I was fairly impressed with Shane Collins, so I'm definitely excited to see him get back in there. But MMAnomaly, what'd you think of Shane Hollywood Collins?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I thought it was a very, very impressive performance, especially in a debut. He's an undefeated prospect. He's coming in. He looks really, really solid. 8-0 is what he improved to after this bout. And again, like, he's coming in hot, taking on Otari Tanzalovi in what looked like what would be a classic striker versus wrestler / grappler matchup on paper. Collins slept in with his slick boxing and pressure. Tanzalovi brought the grappling threats early and often, right? He was trying to initiate those. Landed 5 out of 9 of his takedowns, which were all for naught in the end. And Collins really controlled large chunks of the fight with his sharper striking and better footwork. I think the volume from Shane was the most impressive thing, and the gas tank is something to look at. I think that he is somebody that is going to be able to outlast a lot of people. Someone lobotomized Otari before he went out to fight. Crazy. That's crazy, Shiloh Primetime. That's a crazy comment. Oh man, do you really think so? Because I mean, he was out there, he was throwing, bro. He landed 74 strikes to 111. It wasn't a one-way traffic situation. It was just a matter of one guy was clearly shooting for takedowns aggressively, and the other guy was just desperately trying to keep this fight on the feet where he knew he could lead the dance. And that's exactly what he ended up doing in this fight, right? So great performance for Hollywood Shane Collins. Now the question lies, what should be next for this featherweight debutante who, for lack of better words, kind of put his name on the map out there? Nano, do you have any names top of mind?
Man, I feel like I don't necessarily want to skyrocket him up too far. So I think someone like the Cuban Problem, Yadier Del Val, or Marwan Freaky Rahiki, I love that name, 9-0. I think someone in that range would make sense next for a Shane Hollywood Collins. And freaking Hollywood, they go together.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Pip, what are you thinking, brother?
God, that's a good shout. And I was I looked at that name too, and that did really call out to me. But I was just like, I feel like both these guys could do some serious damage in that division. So one name that was brought up earlier tonight, and I think this name makes a lot of sense, but Shane Collins versus Nate the Train. I mean, he's on a 3-fight skid. It's a chance for Shane to kind of build a name out there. But if we don't like Nate the Train, if we like Nate the Train for, I'm trying to remember who we matched him up with 2 fights ago or so. But if we don't like that, I mean, Jose Delano, I think, could be a good shout as well.
Yeah, those are solid matchups, bro. Those are definitely solid matchups. And I think who I said earlier for him was it Gaston Bolanos?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, Gaston, I think would be a good matchup for him. For me, I think there's a couple of names that make a lot of sense. One of them maybe a little bit more than the other one, just due to inactivity, right? Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker is my number 1 pick. I think he's coming off 2 losses. It makes a lot of sense for these two to match up with each other. He's got 1-shot knockout power, but he's been on a bit of a skid since that Ethan Ewing tear, right? Outside of that, there's another name that, if I'm being honest, I'd actually like to see even more. Oh, fuck. I was talking shit about him with inactivity. He actually finally has a scheduled fight. Jesus Christ. Fucking facepalm moment here, boys. I was going to say Austin Bashi, but it looks like he's fighting Jose Delgado on July 18th. So give him the winner of that fight. Jose Delgado versus Austin Bashi.
I say you just made a fun winner of matchup right there.
Yeah. Like Austin Bashi felt like a shoo-in, and he's fighting Jose Delgado. That fight makes a lot of sense too.
That does.
I'm happy with that one, bro. I'm so happy with that fight.
I like it.
Shiloh said, why was he shooting and why was he not throwing more hands? Bro, he's a grappler. What do you want to do?
Getting beat up on the feet.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's obviously outmatched on the feet, so it's tough. It's very, very tough for him to stay on the feet when grappling is an option, or at least in the back of his mind. It actually did not appear to be an option, right? But he tried his damnedest. With all that being said, folks, we've been going live for a little bit over 2 hours. We really appreciate it if you haven't done it yet. If you liked the stream, leave a comment right now while we're live. And then after we're done, right after that outro plays, slide down with your thumb, leave a comment that's going to stick. Let us know if you had any bets to cash this week. Let us know what your favorite moment of the fight card was this week. And let us know what you can't wait to see next episode and next fight card. And if you do none of the above, if you do none of the things I've just asked you to do, that's fine too, folks. That's okay. We still love you. As long as you do these last two things. Okay, folks, we ask that you keep on going, and we ask that you keep on growing. And we really hope we see you next time.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.